Hey. I didn't prep for this one, so I'm winging it. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. I guess I could give people a few minutes. I don't know. I've been watching these other live streamers, or I notice other live streamers do interesting things. Like they'll wait for like the first 5 minutes, or they have a routine or ritual that they go through in the first few minutes. So it gets people to join the stream. But I don't have anything. I usually just jump right in. But maybe I should just like blab on, yap, as people say, for a few minutes before people join. If you're new here, welcome to Table Moments Live. This is a live edition. I'm your host and captain, Ayman. This is the Homies podcast, as I like to say. I'm still trying to figure out what this is 3.5 years after this thing has started. Started off as a siblings podcast, but at this point, I think I'm transitioning it into something maybe more profound. I think. I have no clue. I don't know. I don't have any answers for it, but a lot of my life has been that way. Like I don't have any answers for like the direction it's going. Kind of just winging it. Cause it's like when, I don't know, timing is a weird thing. Like sometimes it's just things happen when they're supposed to happen. And I'm learning to accept that, especially with the whole faith thing. So I'm not forcing it. Forcing it. I stopped playing Valorant to talk, so this better be good. You could play. Why aren't you? Do you stream your and watch? Okay, dude. I don't know. I don't have anything planned. It's just gonna be a talk. This has been a wild week for a lot of people. I think a lot of people are gonna be. I don't know. The emotions are strong this week for obvious reasons. If you're in America, or you're an American. Or maybe it doesn't matter to you at all, which is actually a good thing. I don't think this should matter to most people. But, you know, I haven't joined the TikTok. I haven't added the TikTok people, but I can imagine people already like constantly talking about this stuff. You were playing with your friends? Go. I mean, you could always watch the replay. I don't want to keep you from your friends, but I like to think of you as my friend. Oh, man. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I didn't prep anything for this. I haven't been posting much videos. I've just been deep in the word lately. So I don't know. Just having internal battles with myself. Just that's all I've been doing, man. There's like barely any work. Only doing So it's sort of like a reprieve from like trying to figure out exactly the direction this is going and where I'm going. I'm a broke back Mexican American, so I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. What does that mean, broke back? Is that a reference to the movie or is that a money reference? I can't tell. And I should be able to tell, but whatever. Yeah. I was thinking like, how do I open these streams, man? I have no clue. I just Man, I don't know. Some weeks it's lively, it's popping. Other weeks it's just like I prep all this stuff, and I don't know. Something about like prepping stuff, just the energy is gone. Something about like just being able to speak into the camera and talking to people. It is at first, if you've ever tried doing it, it's a little nerve wracking because you're like, oh man, no one's watching, which is always the case when you first start. But eventually, like you just learn how to yap into a camera. And so that's what I've been doing. It's both a money reference and a reference to Cheech and Chong. I don't know what Cheech and Chong is, though. I know. I don't know a lot of pop culture stuff, dude. Cheech and Chong. What is that? Are a comedy duo founded in Vancouver and consisted of American Cheech Marin and Canadian Tommy Chong. The duo found commercial and cultural success in the 1970s and 1980s with their stand-up routine, studio recordings, and feature films, which were based on the hippie and free love era, and especially the drug and counterculture movements, most notably their love for cannabis. Interesting. Okay. Is that Poppy? I mean, yep. Yeah. What's up, Dreaming Memes? What's good, bro? Yeah, I don't know this pop culture stuff, dude. Or maybe it's before my time. You must be old, or you must be young, and you just really like old things. But I don't know. Canadians, they met in Vancouver. uh, yeah, okay. What's up, man? How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? Yeah, I don't have anything prepped for this live stream, so it's really just gonna be conversations. I've been thinking about a lot of things lately, but whatever you guys have on your mind, feel free to put it in the chat. Like you guys know, I could just go off. Uh, I got a shirt that Cheech and Chong and Coca Cola font. That's weed. Oh, really? Here's the thing. Like I've taken edibles before. I've tried smoking once. It's just I don't know, for whatever reason I can't get the smoke down and keep it down. My lungs are pure. Okay, like I don't need smoke in them. Um, but the edible stuff can be really fun. But then at the same time, it's just like uh, I don't know. Here's the thing. I think it enhances your personality. So however you really are, deep down, that gets amplified. And so for me, I'm an observational person. I'm constantly like noticing things, observing things, understanding how things are, or just even like thinking deeply about things all the time. So when I am high, I feel that even more. And so like I get observational about my state. And the weird thing is like even when like I'm with my fiance and we're like hanging out and I'm on it, I'm like I always think it's not working. And then as soon as I think it's not working, it's working. So it's just like as soon as I mention it's not working, it's like, oh yeah, all right, got it. Whoa. I don't know. It's just weird how that works. Uh, I'm Mexican. I've been smoking since I was 6 years old. Is that like a Mexican thing? What? I thought you guys just had chocolate, hot chocolate. I don't know. That would be interesting in some hot chocolate. Not gonna lie, some Mexican chocolate. Yeah, that could be good. But yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting experience. I don't know if I can do it now. I've been thinking about that. Um, doing this, going down this whole faith thing. It's just like, I don't know if I could be. Maybe if it's just around, I don't know. Bro probably has breathing problems. No, not really. I've never smoked. I've never smoked. Like so that one time when I did, it was my lungs. Smoke is not a natural thing to be going inside of lungs, guys. That's the thing. Like if you were in a bird, there's a reason why you choke on it. Now your lungs probably get used to it. The alveoli in your lungs probably get clogged up, or there's a mucous membrane that gets developed. Probably, I guess that would capture the smoke. But I'm not a smoker. I'm just not. Like never. I don't know. Now we smoked and drinked at an early age. Oh, okay. Like even the hookah stuff, I could never do. Like I've been to hookah lounges and I think I took a puff once. I'm like, and then that's it. Never again. I don't know. How do people enjoy it, man? You really, I don't know. Yeah. I've had 3 lung infections. For real? Dang. That sucks. Yeah, smoke is not something that should be going in lungs, man. I don't know. It's kind of a. I don't know if you're serious or not, but yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You can still enjoy this stuff. For real? Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you want to enjoy this stuff, like, I know people who switched, they used to smoke cigarettes and now they like chew nicotine gum, or they take nicotine patches or something. Or like there's another form of nicotine. Yeah, the gums or whatever. It's like smoke is not a thing that should be in human lungs, like, or any lungs for that matter. It helps relax. Yeah, I'm not saying don't do weed. I mean, like, I don't think you should. Well, see, that's the thing. I'm still like waffling about the thing. Like, I know for sure, like, edibles definitely like relax. I don't know if they relax. There was this one time I took way too many at once. Like, the dosages aren't consistent between brands, especially with edibles. Like, it can be all over the place. So I had a friend give me some because I was gonna go get some work done. I was like, oh, maybe this can help me focus because sometimes I can do that. I thought it was like one of those blends. And when they told me they were old gummies, and I think they were like 5 milli or something small, and I didn't know, so I just ate the whole bag. I'd never been that high in my life. I was I was too relaxed to the point where I was like, "Oh my god, I'm actually having a hard time." I'm not having a hard time breathing. I'm forgetting to breathe. Like that's how bad it was. And I'm like, "Yo, that was a whole other level. It was freaking me out." So yeah, it can help you relax. Just I don't know, be careful. My man was in space for real, dude. Like, I don't recommend it. And I got close. I'm like, yo, all right. Here's the thing: the dosage for me is it's weird because like I don't partake in this stuff that much. It's very rare. Even with alcohol, like I don't drink. I don't drink. Like I think the last time I had a drink was like I can't even remember last year, sometime last year, maybe like maybe over a year ago actually. Like, and even then, like I don't think it's something I ever want to do again because it's just like it has to be like some sort of occasion or something. So I'm not no that kind of person. I just never been that type of person. And I here's the thing. I think the reason why people use this stuff is like as a it's a sort of supplement to like help, like you say, relax. But even in social situations with like drinking and stuff, I don't know. It just seems like why don't you attempt to learn how to like learn how to socialize with people and be honest and in real time. I don't know. That's always been my strategy. It's hard at first, but you get used to it. Bro size ancestors. Well, I wish that would have been really cool. No hallucinations though. I've never been on shrooms, and I don't think I ever want to. Nah. I saw a pigeon egg fall from my roof. Hold up. What? What? This guy got Pidgeotos on his roof. All right. Well, what's up with you guys though? What's up with you? We don't have to talk about drugs. We don't have to talk about drugs. And I don't know. I don't know. I've had experiences with stuff. Nothing. That was probably the most extreme that's happened to me. Other than with alcohol, one time I got way. I drank way too much, but it was in a safe environment. See, that's the thing. Like, I don't understand why people are getting so crazy with the consumption in places that aren't safe. Like in a club, in a bar, you drinking so much. It's like, what are you doing? It's like if you're in a safe environment with someone you can trust, then everything's okay. Even if something bad happens, it's like you'll be taken care of. And that was my situation. It was actually a New Year's thing, and I was with my girlfriend at the time, and we were in her apartment. So literally, it was just like it was fine. Nothing happened. The baby exploded. Eesh. All right, dog. Take a picture of it and send it to me. uh, oh, what's up with you dreaming memes? So yeah, so like if you're gonna do this stuff, like don't do it out in public. That's the crazy part to me, especially like in the world. I don't know. I guess I could have a lot of opinions about it, but I don't care to give it. Aside from that, yeah, we don't really have to talk about this stuff anymore. Like, Summer Market though, he was. Let me see. Soul Market though, he was in a war in Roblox. That's how he saw explosion. Oh, it's a game reference. So when he says his roof, how young are you guys? What is going on, man? And don't call me Unc. No, it's fine. You could call me Unc. Unc is a term of respect. I know it. I know a lot of. I I interviewed what's his name? Taylor Ayers on the YouTube channel, and yeah, it's like we're if you're older, you don't necessarily need to be old. If you're just an older person on social media and you're giving gems to people or useful or answering questions, you get the automatic Unc, which I don't mind. I mean, like that's cool. Like my friends' kids call me uncle. It's just like a traditional thing in an immigrant family. Like all the parents of all the friends of your parents who are of their age, who also have kids that we're all cousins and uncles and aunts to each other. That's how it is. No, a baby bird exploded outside. That's what I figured. All right, so take a picture of it, dog. Bro was in North Korea and saw birds exploding in North Korea. Yeah. Yeah, whatever happened in North Korea? I remember North Korea used to be in the news all the time, especially during the Obama administration. Everyone was so scared all the time. And then when 45 was in office, everyone thought it was just going to be like this big war. And turns out they're just friends. Like none of this stuff. How, how do you show me? Find table moments on Instagram and just message it to me if you can. But that's hilarious. Baby bird exploded. How does a baby bird explode though? You have to send a link. No, no, no. This is. I'm just gonna check it after this stream. But yeah, shout out to North Korea, I guess. Oh, I probably can't even say stuff like that on YouTube stream, huh? YouTube's weird. So that's interesting. Dude, everything like went in different directions. Yeah, but how does it explode though? Was it like really hot or? Maybe it's hatching. Maybe it's hatching. And so you just got to witness a hatch. Kim Jong Un is watching. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. What would you do if you got an invitation to go to North Korea just to visit? Would you go? And you know you'll be safe. Would you go? Would you cross that border? It's a cool 113 right now. Where you're in Arizona or something? I feel like that's Arizona. Wait, weather Arizona. Nope. You must be somewhere hotter. Are you in the Middle East? How's it 113? Oh, you're in Mexico. That's why you're saying you're Mexican, because you're actually Mexican. I don't know why I thought you were stateside. All right. How's it in Mexico, bro? Like, dang, guys in Mexico. That's cool. That's cool. This podcast is international, technically. Weather in Mexico. I don't know. Do we dare? Do we dare talk about the border? But you're Polish? All right, you're a confusing dude. You're so, are you on vacation? I'm so confused right now. You're Mexican. You're in Mexico. You're Polish. All right, I'm hella confused. um, I'm just gonna call you. I'm just gonna call you Mexican. Oh, okay. Which part is sarcasm? Do you guys not know the rules of the internet? If you put sarcasm, you have to put this symbol here, /S. That's the symbol for sarcasm, guys. It's like you young guys don't know the rules of the internet. That's crazy. You can't tell sarcasm on. Oh, is there something going on with the Twitch? No, it's working. Just the messages aren't going through. All right, it's okay. Yeah. All sarcasm, you put the /S. No, I use common sense. Here's the thing: when it's written out, it's not obvious. This is the problem with like social media and comments and stuff. You have to make it super, super. This is why the symbol exists, guys. There's a lot of relics from the old internet you young guys don't know. It's okay though, and I don't know. Maybe it's my job to bring it back. But if you use sarcasm, you use the /S to indicate it because it's hard to read. Whatever, dude. Whatever. I'm still confused. I don't even know which part of that was sarcasm, but okay. Master Uguay YouTube channel is falling. He might get canceled because of what he did. I think you mentioned this last time. I still don't understand. I'm 16, but okay. That is young, dude. Am I? Yeah, I'm over twice your age, dude. I'm 34, but I feel like I'm 27. So, yeah. Everyone's getting canceled these days. Yeah, that's why I've been trying to like. Did he do a Kanye? That's a good question. Let's look it up. Master Uguay. Canceled. It's officially canceled. What happened to Master Uguay? Uguay. I don't understand. Let's see. At risk of termination due to terms of service violation on hate speech. Unfortunately, our policy team confirmed that your video will not be reinstated. We understand this wasn't the outcome you were hoping for, but please review our policy on hate speech to avoid this in the future. My B call, she say goo goo gaga. What? All right. I don't understand. He said the N word and called Hitler his N word. This is true. Okay. I mean, like, this is the funny thing. Like, people think this stuff is bad. Oh, man. If you guys were old enough to be around during the old internet, man, Hitler came up like every day. Like, there's actually a rule. What's the word? What's that Reddit rule where Reddit rule about Godwin's law. Godwin's law. Check this out. I'm gonna put it in the chat. This is like, man, you have no clue how the internet used to be. It was so free and awesome. I can't even put links here. How do I put a link? All right, I'm just gonna put the Google search term. You guys can look it up. Godwin's law. I'll read it out for you guys though. So Godwin's law, short for Godwin of Nazi analogies, is an internet adage asserting as as an online discussion grows longer, the probability of a comparison involving Nazis or Hitler approaches one. And so they like, oh no, it's from 1990. Okay, so this is even before the internet. Okay. Oh, the Godwin's law originally referred specifically to Usenet newsgroup discussions. He stated that introducing Godwin's law in 1990 as an experiment in memetics, specifically to address the ubiquity of such comparisons, which he believes regrettably trivialized the Holocaust. Later, it was applied to any threaded online discussions, such as internet forums, chat rooms, and social media comments threads, as well as to speeches, articles, and other rhetoric, where reductio ad Hitlerium occurs. Dude, yo, the early internet was a beautiful time, man. You should see my Discord server, dude. I mean, I here's the thing. I invited a few people from the Twitch stream into the Discord server I have for table moments. It's what I used to use for recording these podcasts. And so I gave him, because they're gamers too. And guess what? It just devolved into just all this insulting each other because they were hating each other or whatever. I'm just like, and then obviously a lot of racial, I don't know if any racial, but definitely some sexual comments to each other. I have to be careful because, it's Pride Month, so but you can understand the type of comments dudes were leaving to each other, and it's just going back and forth, yelling at each other in these like very slurry ways. And then a friend of mine who's been on the Discord, he has his notifications for Discord on for whatever reason, and so he gets all these like messages. Seeing these dudes drop all these memes and insulting each other in these like most heinous ways. He's like, dude, did someone hack your Discord? I'm like, no, they're just kids from Twitch. Oh, you have a whole sec. Why though? Why do you guys have? Come on, somewhere. I don't understand why you guys are upset. First of all, learn the history of this stuff because Here's the thing. I think a lot of people making comments on this stuff don't understand the history of it. Um, and I think a lot of people who even make comments just like again Godwin's law don't even understand how poor of a comparison it is for most situations. And it's not the only time in history where people have been mass deleted, but it is a pretty gruesome way of doing it. Bro, don't get canceled. Yeah. Oh, are you talking to me? I mean, I've been trying to get canceled for like 3 years, so I'm kind of welcoming it. I'm just not big enough yet to actually deserve, or I haven't earned my cancellation yet. That's the way I think of it. And I know what you might be thinking, like, why would you want to get canceled? Because you get canceled once, you can't get canceled again. So that's my theory, and I'm like, I would really like to know who my real friends are. Like, you get to know who your friends are when the world shuns you and ostracizes you and cancels you. The people who stick by, they don't have to be public about it. Like, that's the thing. Like, I'm not expecting anyone to put their reputation on the line for me. But if they are go out and take the other side of it publicly, then it's just like, all right, so you were never a friend. Good to know. I think it's a wonderful gift. Cancellation can be a wonderful gift, guys. And some genders, there are two genders. What part of the internet was worse, the past or now? Depends on what do you mean. What you mean by worse? Because like if people talk about this hate speech stuff, people are gonna say the internet's in the past was bad because anyone could say anything, and it a lot of times threads would turn into flame wars. I don't know if you guys aren't old enough to remember how YouTube comments were. You think they're dumb now? They were way dumber before, and a lot of hate and negativity in the comment section. But I mean, that's one way to define it. If you define it as people being free to engage with each other honestly without overlords telling people what to think, then it was actually better, because part of what comes with freedom is people behaving badly, obviously. So it's okay. Like I welcome it. And I think the male attitude is to welcome freedom, because it's just like we can handle hate, we can handle some anger and disagreement. Now they've made it more safe, which is more female friendly, but naturally it means less freedom. So I would say it's worse now than it was then. So, and then there's also this theory about like the what's the theory? The internet thing, where the internet isn't even real anymore. Like 90% of the internet is just like 5 different websites. It's crazy. It's like things have gotten worse, and you can tell by Google searches don't give you answers to interesting things anymore, or don't give you legitimate answers to things anymore. It's harder to find information. Like even now, every now and then, like I deep dive into like weird topics. Yeah, there aren't a lot of sources anymore. Everything is like, I don't know, it's just bad. It used to be that you would find this like really interesting website for that little thing that's unique because they're offering information that you can't find anywhere else. But now it's all just going to be like you notice this, especially with like news articles, when they're talking about something, it's hard to find their source, which is crazy to think about. Because like if there's like some major scientific discovery or like room temperature superconductors and you want to go read the paper, you're going to see all these news articles before you find the actual paper. That's crazy. That's how the internet works now. It's hard to find original sources, but it's easy to find people talking about it, because it turns out Google's search algorithm favors certain sites over others. So it's unfortunate, but whatever. Midway, 4chan? 4chan's it's the one place where that's still free. There's this kid on the news here. He got in trouble for wearing a t-shirt, and it said there are only 2 genders in school. Teachers got out of hand. I mean, like public schools, dude. Public schools are, I don't know. I have strong opinions about public schools, which I've shared on lives before. Like, I say get rid of them all of them. And I know what people might say is like, what are we going to do instead? It's like nothing is better than what we have now. Of course, there are exceptions, of course, but nothing is better than what we have. And then also the abuse that happens in schools, not only by students on students, but teachers on students, which no one likes talking about. But yeah, people want to talk about pastors and priests doing stuff in churches, which is wrong. Guess what? Teachers do the same thing too. You just don't hear about it because sacred cows and all. So that's how we learn from instincts. I mean, I don't know if that's great either, because like the instinct is to behave like animals. And so this is the whole like idea behind like, we're all evolutionary biology explains how the masses behave, but it doesn't explain how people who choose to be above their animal self behave. And so this is the difference. It's like you can behave as animals do, and most people do. But you can rise above that. And it's a struggle. It really is a struggle, but it is, I think, fruitful in the long term. Maybe not in this life, but in the next. So that's your choice, though. So yeah, I mean, people behaving from their instincts is the world we have today. So I don't know if you enjoy it, then yeah, power and control and dominance and money, which is just a representation of resources. It's just like, if you get dropped on an island, do you go by instincts or what school has taught you? School isn't going to teach you anything for survival on an island. But your instincts, I mean, your instincts will work. Yeah, your instincts will work. But I mean, like, you're not on an island, though. So that's the thing. You're not on an island. If you're on an island, yeah, you're going to seek food, shelter, and safety. So, so you're probably going to build a home. You're probably going to address water. Here's the thing. School could teach you things that would help you survive on an island. This is where your STEM classes might come in, but they just don't. So, I can think of ways like the physics stuff and the biology stuff could be useful. Chemistry stuff could be useful too. Jalisco. I don't know what that means. Is that a place? Jalisco. Oh, Mexico. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, so could you survive? Yeah. I've played Ark Survival Evolved. I got this. Sure. Okay. It's a different thing. Like simulations are a different thing from the real thing. Like the real thing isn't going to let you feel what cold feels like. It's not going to let you feel what hunger actually feels like. It's not going to prepare you for the uncertainty of nature and the sounds that you will hear when you're in nature. So it's just like Jalisco. Yeah, Jalisco. Jalisco. How do you say it? Is it Jalisco? Because it's Mexican. Ja. Ja, ja, ja. I take offense to that. I know. I'm just realizing, yeah, is it Jalisco? I'm just realizing that. I got a cool idea. Put men on one island, put women on another island for 100 days. I might get canceled. Survivor tried that, dude. Survivor actually tried that. They did a men's versus women's thing. You might enjoy it. Find it on YouTube, dude. Survivor at Jalisco. Jalisco. All right. Jalisco. All right, I got it. But yeah, Jimmy Memes. Survivor actually tried that. They tried an episode with men versus women. So you should, if you haven't seen it, it's kind of hilarious because like just a few days in, they realized the women weren't going to make it because they just weren't. Like, here's the thing. When men gather together, it's like there is a hierarchy, but then it's not based on just like power or ego. It's based on skill. And so like people, men, it's just like, all right, there's a little bit of battling and squabbling at the beginning, and then they're like, all right, so you're good at that, you do that, you do this, you do that, and everyone's just like assigning, and everyone takes ownership of their thing, and they go and do it. And so like by like the first few days, they have shelter, they have a way to get food, everything's running smoothly, like they're building a city basically. And then the women are just like, everything's got to be like safe, and we're not trying to offend anybody, and we're not trying to hurt feelings, and so they're not actually like getting things done. And then eventually like the people who are running Survivor are like, oh my god, this isn't gonna last. These women are not preparing, they're gonna go hungry, and they have no shelter. What are they gonna do? And so here's what they do. They take a couple dudes from the men's and bring them over to the women's, and they take a couple women and bring them over to the men's. And then you get to see like how it really plays out. And it's kind of hilarious because then the men show up at the women's place and like, you guys haven't done anything. And so they end up having to do all the work because the women aren't like doing any of the work. They're like squabbling over like whatever. And then the women come over to the men's side and they're just enjoying it because like everything's been taken care of and stuff. It's crazy. And it's just like, dang. Have you seen Naked and Afraid? I've seen some episodes of it. Apes Together Strong? I don't know what that means. Men Together becomes the planet of apes in real life. I don't know if you mean that in a good way or a bad way. Planet of the Apes? I don't know. I don't think I've even... What, so they just build a civilization? Here's the problem. Sometimes inserting women into a primarily male space can ruin the dynamics between men because then the competition stuff comes in. So I never watched the whole season, but I can imagine like women being on that island with a bunch of dudes can cause them to compete with each other, which is why it's like exclusively male spaces are useful for men to take out that element of the male spirit, I guess. I think women don't understand that, which is why they always try to like invade it. They're like, oh, it's only men. You guys are like shunning women. It's like, no, no, no. Because men get weird when women are around. And I've seen this, dude. I've seen this in real life. When you guys know, if you're a teenager, you know how dudes get. Some dudes are way more thirsty for girls than others. I was never a thirsty dude. I was never chasing girls like that. Like, I listened to them. I knew what they sounded like. I knew what it was like to hang out with them. They weren't all that, okay? They weren't all that. Yeah. We're teenage boys. We're going through what we're going through, and for that reason, yeah, a lot of dudes are horny, but I wasn't getting it twisted, all right? But a lot of dudes did. A lot of guys, man, just thirsty for girls, and in a desperate way. And it's like disgusting how guys become. And I know someone personally who is like that, who just gets weird around girls. As soon as a woman's in the room, they get so weird. And you guys know what I'm talking about? I don't know. And it's just like cringe. And I'm like, this is what happens with some dudes, which is why it's like those male spaces are important. So at least guys can actually just be real without the female energy just mucking everything up. And they don't get it. And so they're like trying to come in, and they enjoy coming in because they get the attention from these thirsty dudes. And I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know. I'm growing tomatoes from The Simpsons. Tomatoes. Did you spell that right? I don't know. My friends are trying to make me get women, and they get mad at me for not getting any. I don't know. Like, they'll be there, dude. They'll be there. You don't have to. I don't know. This whole chasing thing, man. It's like, I get it. But like, yeah. Here's the thing. You got to just be, I'm not going to, my friends got mad at me for focusing on my goals instead of women. I think you need some new friends, dog. Like, yeah. No, I don't know. I've witnessed this enough times, seeing guys super thirsty for girls. They get stupid around women, and it's just like, First of all, that doesn't work to get them. Okay, you got to be aloof a little bit. All right. In fact, if you're dating a girl and she doesn't say, "I didn't know you were into me," if she doesn't say that, then you're coming off too strong. Um, I'll enjoy my life till I'm 25. Then I'll try. I wouldn't recommend putting a date on it. Like, just like if you meet the right girl who's cool, go make a move, dude. Go make a move. Like, here's the thing. I just posted an old video where I talk about like certain girls, quiet girls, introverted girls. Like, they're not all 304s, guys. That's basically the hook of the video. Because like on social media and online, you get this impression, especially like with all the fresh and fit relationship content and stuff, you get this impression that all women are like these loose and just out there all the time. It's like, no, no, no. There are, most of them are, okay? A lot of them are. Let's just say a lot of them are. But there's a handful, there are certain percentage of women who don't do that stuff. They're really introverted. They spend their time at home. They're not out there, so they're not even seen at all. They do things like go to farmers markets, or they read a lot. They go to libraries and stuff. Like, and I've dated those women. You run into those women online dating because even those women are looking for companionship too. And those are the women it's kind of my lane, bro. It's kind of my lane. And so it's just like, they're not all 304s, guys. And so if you run into a girl who's like different and exceptional, because there are exceptional women too, I wouldn't put a date on it. Just like, I'm not saying chase women either. It is useful to go out on a few dates just so you get the skill of it. Because I think a lot of times, especially as young guys, it's easy to just say, I'll worry about it later, or I don't have to do the work now of like actually being comfortable speaking with a stranger, honest about my intentions and stuff, which I wouldn't recommend. Like, if you're in a position to do stuff, at least get some practice, not necessarily taking it all the way. Like, it can't hurt. In fact, it'll actually benefit you because by the time you're 25 and you have everything settled in your goals, whatever, you'll also have that figured out too. So I wouldn't recommend just like putting it on the back burner completely just for the sake of like sacrifice everything for the sake of your goals type of thing, because eventually you're going to have to learn it. So you might as well just even learn bits of it now. Not necessarily in that desperate way like your peers are, but there are cool girls out here. You don't have to mess around with every girl. And maybe you just go out with a girl just for the practice. I've done that. I'm not proud of it, but I've done that. Not the practice of like physical stuff, just the practice of even going out on a date, being, whatever. We could talk about it, but whatever. Okay, so I should have made a move at 8. Yeah, okay. I wait for women till I become a millionaire and build aesthetic physique. You don't need that. That's the thing. And here's the thing, the type of women you'll attract will likely be gold diggers and superficial people. So if that's the kind of people you like, then great. You've perfected yourself into being exactly that. But if no, then you kind of setting yourself up. Are you on a bulk or a cut? That's hard to describe. I think I'm a bit of a cut right now. I've been walking a lot, but I'm still hitting the gym too. So I don't do a bulk or a cut. I just kind of like get in the zone. So right now I've just been walking a lot and then hitting the gym pretty much every day. Eating better though. That's the thing. Like, if you have any issues with your weight, focus on the diet part. And the diet's easy to focus on when your spirit's cool. So if you can find God in the process, that's great. I'm scrawny and I can lift 415. Awesome. I don't deadlift. I don't know if that's good or not. Yeah, that's a lot of weight. 415. That's is that 4 plates each side? I'm a recomp for now, then I'm a bulk. Okay. I don't know. I'm 158 pounds. Okay. Here's the thing: you don't need to be beautiful to get a girl. I'm just saying. Look at this. This face here has gotten some baddies. Like I'm telling you, man. Like you don't have to be pretty. You don't have to be pretty. So don't worry about that too much. Um, Now you're not gonna be able to get every baddie with a face like this, but there is a lane. There is a lane. Bro, getting hydrated? Yeah, I drink water. What? What? Dude. Here's the funny thing. It's like guys are approaching dating and mating the same way women are, which is by making yourself beautiful, which is the female strategy, by the way. Did you guys know that? Red pill is female sexual strategy just applied to men. That's why it works so well, because it's playing fire with fire. And I'm not saying that in a humiliating way to the red pill guys. Their stuff works. It works. Like, bro, getting hydrated. I want a 10 out of 10 women when I'm an adult. What does 10 out of 10 mean? 10 out of 10 to other people or 10 out of 10 to you? Okay? Because that's the thing. Like, when you really find the right girl, she will feel like a 10 to you. Because, like, no one else will know her. There will be things about her that just mesh so well with you. For instance, my fiance. Like I can't imagine being with anybody else. Like, even when I met her, dude, I actually texted my brother. I'm like, dude, I've never met a girl like this before. Because she's a lot like me. Like, it's crazy. Like, and yeah, she's a 10 out of 10 for me in all categories outside of her appearance. Because it's like all the other girls just don't compare. It's just like, and I'm not saying it in a thirsty way. I'm saying, like, dude, when you've been with enough women, you'd be like, they're all basically the same. They're all basically the same until you find the one who's like, it meshes. Like, things just like fit, you know? Now, there's certain things, whatever. I don't have to get into it. But like, 10 out of 10, what does 10 out of 10 mean? You know? Like, first of all, there is no 10 out of 10 woman. No woman's perfect, okay? And then there's that quote, like, she might be a baddie, but there's some dude out there who was tired of her crap. So it's just like, I don't know if that's a good measure, dog. Dreaming memes. I don't know if that's a good measure. So that's what I would say. So yeah, you know, when you're young, you're focused on the appearance stuff, but everyone gets ugly one day. Also, that's true. So unless you're also willing to upgrade her over time, it's beyond that, dude. Plus, there's a thing called wife goggles. So even as she gets older and I guess less beautiful, as people say, you'll still see her that way. It's a pretty cool evolutionary benefit, I guess, that guys have. And women have too. Here's the thing, like, when a girl's really into you, your defects, whatever thing that you think is not good looking about you, she will actually learn to appreciate and actually think it's really attractive. I swear, dude, it's so weird. Like, women who aren't into bald guys will all of a sudden be into this bald guy because she's into him. And she'll think she likes bald guys, even though she's never dated a bald guy before. She will feel some type of way about beards. She might not have liked beards before. She likes guys who are clean shaven, but she likes you. So all of a sudden she becomes a girl who likes beards. You know, that's how it works with women. I think it's pretty cool. So it's like, I wouldn't be too worried about it. Green M&Ms or brown M&Ms? Please don't search this up. Then I can't answer. I'm not going to answer. What about yellow M&Ms? Or do you go with the plain M&Ms or the peanut M&Ms? You know, that's a good question too. All right, I gave you guys 49 minutes. I'm gonna add the TikTok people on to this. But yeah, feel free to. What's your choice? Or maybe I'll ask the people on TikTok: green M&Ms or brown M&Ms. Hello. Thanks for the facts. I don't know. It's just been my experience. You don't have to be pretty. It blows my mind too, man. And then you start realizing, like, women are just different. They're different. Like, so Yeah, it is what it is. But I get it. You guys are young, so. Hey everyone, welcome to Table Moments Live. Welcome. How's everyone doing? Wow, can't believe I just talked for like 15 minutes on YouTube. That's crazy. No prep. Hey, taking Team Chicken Eaters. That's messed up. Even the profile picture sucks. As you can imagine, it's a little black kid. What's up? What's up? Welcome, everyone. Small little Grayson, Ditas, Jackson, Hammersley. Please follow. What's up? Thanks for the rose. Please follow. Brooke, Randall, Garcia. What's up? How's everyone doing today? This is not a place where we debate, so if you're looking for that, you can find other people for sure. I'm not debating anybody, but we can talk about anything. All right, green M&Ms or brown M&Ms, guys. Green M&Ms. She looked like she'd been around when men. While brown M&Ms, she's more of a nerd, but she okay. What does that even mean? What? Oh, you guys are talking. Oh, wait. Wait. Let me look this up. Green M and M versus brown. That's a thing. Yeah. Okay. Not bossy, just the boss. You want a bossy girl? All right, dog. Can I guess to request chat? No. I don't just invite strangers up. How am I? I'm good. How are you? I have a question for you guys. Green M&M or brown M&Ms? Like it says here, brown M&M, not bossy, just the boss. I just thought I'd remind people it's conical that Mrs. Green M&M is a lesbian who lives with her wife, Miss Brown M&M. What? All right, dude. Brown? Really? It's Mental Health Month, y'all. You matter, bro. Thanks, dog. Green M&M or brown M&M, guys? I don't think either one are. I don't know. Let's see green M&Ms. Green M and M personality. Mrs. Green. Wow, they have a whole wiki page. I'm too busy shining to throw shade. Green, formerly Mrs. Green, is the spokes candy for multiple M&M flavors and debuts in the commercial Green Arrival on January 12th, 1997. She is an outward character and always has something to say, usually out to impress. She's highly self-aware, which keeps her looking the best she can. Never seen far from the boys, Mrs. Green is slightly bothered by their lack of confidence. She often steals the spotlight due to their attentiveness. Okay. Interesting. I'm allergic to M&Ms. Dang, that sucks. Yeah. Peanut M&M, I don't know. I feel like red is arrogant. It's like Bert and Ernie, dude. I feel like that's what it is. Yeah, orange is scared. Purple is a thing too. Green. I don't know why I'm reading this right now. This is crazy. Chow on brown. Oh, what about blue? Blue's confident. How about that? Yeah, to chocolate. Dang, that sucks, dude. Chocolate's great. Have you ever? I imagine you've tasted chocolate though before, right? Sup, is this live? Says you've been on 15 minutes, but it seems like you're welcoming everyone like it's the start of the show. Yeah, I just added the people on TikTok. I live stream on Twitch. There's also people on YouTube, and then now TikTok people. And now we're going over like green M&Ms versus brown M&Ms, and which one would you choose? And this is based on their personalities, apparently. I don't know why people are anthropomorphizing these chocolate candies. Weirdly enough, I had M&Ms yesterday. Um, Peanut M&Ms are great. Pause, but they're good. That sucks. Chocolate's great though. I mean, chocolate's awesome. I don't know. Like red M&Ms, I instinctively know I have great instincts. Yeah, the arrogant one. My favorite thing about today is everything. That's yellow. That's his. Oh my god. Orange. I find your lack of concern extremely concerning. All right. Purple. Flawless. How about flaw more? Uh, Green. I'm too busy shining to throw shade. I'm not bossy, just the boss. That's the brown. And the blue one is I woke up like this. Okay. And they have like whole personality pages. No more pause. Uh, Now you have to say no Diddy. Yeah. And it's weird because it's like Pride Month, right? But it's apparently Mental Health Awareness Month. Men's Mental Health Month. I don't know. Do we really need a month dedicated to our mental health, fellas? Could we just get a weekend without her? That's it. That's all we need. No therapy sessions, just peace. No Diddy. All right, I'll try to remember that though. I appreciate it. But yeah, if you're new here, welcome to Table Most Live. It's just a hangout spot. We just talk about anything and everything. Dreaming memes on YouTube. Asked about green M&M versus brown M&M, which is why I'm talking about it. But really, the conversation can go anywhere. Um, Feel free to leave a comment if there's anything. I know. Here's the thing: there's certain things people like talking about that I try to steer the conversation away from. Especially, I'm surprised I haven't gotten that comment yet this week. So I'm glad I'm not going to even bring it up. But yeah, it's just a conversation among. It's supposed to be like the kind of conversations you have with your friends, where you guys are all just talking and everyone's just hanging out, and the conversation can go anywhere. Nothing's set. It can be passionate. It can be deep. It can be funny. It can be jokes, and that's what this is. There's no planning to it, so that's how it goes. And welcome. You got it. What made you click the link though? That's interesting. What made you jump into this live? How are you guys doing on TikTok though? How's everyone doing? Reagan Luster, Dre Blix, what's up? No debates here, guys. We're not doing debates here. Or dating. I don't know. I just see a lot of this. I don't know. I don't understand TikTok Live, man. Aloha, brother. How are you? I'm good. I'm good. Are you in Hawaii? Are you from Hawaii? Or are you? Yeah, you say aloha. All love, aloha. I would guess you are. Yeah. It's a cool vibe, not gonna lie. You're definitely more laid back when you live on an island. I wonder if you brought a Hawaiian with a Jamaican, how they would get along. I think that'd be a hilarious conversation. It's like, I don't know if they would understand each other, but the vibe would just mesh, I think. Which gym is better in your opinion? Planet Fitness, Fitness Connection, or LA Fitness, or any other? I have a Planet Fitness membership. I haven't been there in months because I have a gym in my apartment building. But Planet Fitness is so accessible. And plus, if you're new to the gym, you're not going to need anything with like free weights or anything like that. Well, they do have free weights too, dumbbells and stuff. But Planet Fitness in a lot of places is open 24 hours. So you don't have to worry about that. Yeah. Get the black membership. I think it's worth it if you're going to be going to multiple. If you want the convenience of going to multiple gyms, multiple Planet Fitnesses. There's a lot of Jamaicans that live here. They're super grounded. Yeah, I think it's a great mesh. It seems like the perfect any person who lives or grew up on an island. I feel like your personality gets shaped by where you live. So, why did I get a dumb job that I have to go to tomorrow? I don't know. Maybe you can learn to enjoy it. I don't know. I came from your dollar notes video. Yeah. Any opinions on that? I still have them. I haven't done anything with them. I haven't. Have you ever cried in front of your girlfriend? Do you think she would think differently of you if you did? Oh, that's such a great question. The answer is yes, I have. And she did think of me differently. She saw a godly man. So that's what happened. I cried in front of her because I was literally being reborn. And she witnessed it. She got to witness that. And then she changed too because of it. So I have a positive story. I know a lot of people are just like, oh, you can't cry in front of your girl because she's going to think of you as weak. If you're crying because you just been saved by Christ, like, guess what? She sees God through you and she changes too. So that's my great question, though. Great question. I guess it depends on why you're crying. I guess it depends on why you're crying. But I was literally being reborn, so that's what happened. My Jamaican brothers got that be easy vibe. Yeah, that's a good vibe. Everyone enjoys that kind of vibe. Okay, in German. Anyone speak German? I do kind of. I don't think anyone speaks German here. But yeah, it's like it depends on why you cry in front of your girl. It depends on why you cry. If it's crying for something holy or like a deep, deep loss, like your mom died, your parent died, children have died, it's like they're not going to judge you differently for that. Well, maybe they would, but I don't know. Do you really want to be with a girl who's like hassling you because you cried about a death in your family? It's like, it's like, yeah, just buy Felicia her and go get someone who's more understanding. Like, I don't know why guys are so worried about like losing their girlfriends. It's like, is she fit for being with you? That's the, I don't know, man. I don't know. Have standards for yourselves, guys. Or 24. Yeah. So Planet Fitness is what I would say is a good, is a good. I recommend Planet Fitness because a lot of people have. You changed your profile picture again, Arira. Man, I raged in a basketball in a game called Buckshot Roulette. Okay. No, you lost another one. What did you do? What did you do? What's up? Dang. What did you do? Homie here keep getting their account banned. That's crazy. See, hate speech. Hate. I knew it. I knew it was gonna be hate speech. Why are you so? Find. I'll pray to the Lord that you get some peace in your heart, so you can like not spread this hate across the interwebs. Oh man, I knew it. It was hate speech. It's always, yeah. What are you yelling about though? What are you? Of course, it's like back home stuff. Don't tell me it was Trump stuff. That'd be even funnier. Uh, my mom said I was hateful. I think you care so much. How about that? I don't want to call you hateful. I think you care a lot. And I think your solution for a lot of things centers around force and power. But there's a lot of power in taking the peaceful approach. Not that whole sort of like persuasion, trying to like convince people through by being deceiving, but in a genuine, open way that has grace with it, I think. So it's like, can you learn to forgive your enemies? That's a tough one. I'm not going to lie. That's very, very tough. Especially this week. A lot of people are angry. A lot of people with upside down flags. But I'm like, man, this is going to be a test for a lot of people. Because it's so easy to get angry about this stuff. And it's just like, all right, but this is what's supposed to happen, In one of my channels, I made an AI song. And the artist commented on the video that this happened today. Oh, awesome. That's cool. Wall up this crazy people. I need you in the army with me. Nah, I can't be a part of any army. Why they stopped selling grape soda? I don't know. Please tell me. I'm dying to know why they stopped. I feel it's going to be a racial comment, but it's okay. This is a safe space for you, okay? Here's the thing. Everywhere else, all of the creators out here are gonna ban you from like comments like that or jokes or whatever. Here, it's a free speech space. As best as I can make it, okay? The platforms have their own rules. And so like if your comment gets filtered, that's not me. I'm not doing it. It's the platform. You know, I was talking with these guys on YouTube about how the internet used to be and like the rage that existed in comment threads and stuff. Like, man, we don't get to have that anymore and people consider it an upgrade. I don't think so. I think it means people get to be less free, which means it's stifling. You don't get real intentions from people. You want to link the song in the comment section, Dreaming Memes? I'll take a listen. How many channels do you have, by the way? So yeah, let's all calm down. Let's have some peace. No one needs to be angry. Although anger sells well. That's the problem with this stuff. It's like it's lazy. Here's the thing. As someone who makes content, I see the games that are being played on this side of the the screen. The person, like, they're making choices to elicit reactions in people. Like, people talk about this, especially like if you go on the money Twitter guys and see some of the stuff they post, like, oh look, I just got all these like views and engagement on this video, triggering people. It's like triggering people just for the sake of it, just saying some wild stuff just for the sake of it, because it gets views. And really, it's all about getting attention. And you realize this is beyond just social media. This is like our news, our government, pretty much anybody who does anything public facing these days takes the lazy and easy path, which is to get people angry because it's such a strong emotion. And emotions is what drives people to take action. Maybe in the comments, the shares, the likes. So even on both sides of this like political issue that's going on this week, like the people who got what they wanted are happy and celebrating, and people who didn't are getting angry, and then they're making video posts about the anger and we're gonna fight back. And all right, bro, sure you will. But you know, they get the engagement though. They get the engagement, and so it's like that's what I see. I see it's just like they're telling people what they want to hear, and it's all talk, it's all braggadocious, whatever, and no one's actually serious. I was in your chat about 3 months ago, and I believe you said you were a chemical engineer or mechanical engineer, and I asked with your skills, could you live off the grid and do well? Oh, okay. Yeah, mechanical engineer. Yeah. So, yeah, I think I could do okay. I mean, there's going to be a lot to learn for sure. It's not going to be easy, but I think I could do okay eventually. Anthony Edwards, dang, sorry to hear about your loss, bruh. Basketball player. F. Luka Doncic. Two-time All-Star. You're referring to Doncic? You taking song requests? I am not. Did you ask that last week? I feel like you asked that last week, if you've been here before. I'm not taking song requests. It's like Big Boss. All these basketball players coming in. They have a cross and then the word freaky. I don't understand. Are you freaky for Jesus? If you would do that, if you do, that would be tough. No, I don't. Wait, song requests? I'm not taking song requests. Oh, man, it is late already. It's 9:44 here. No. So yeah, anger. Lots of anger in this world, guys. Don't need to be angry, and you don't need to spread anger. As tempting as it is, it's like you start realizing like people are motivated by their self-interest, and they're willing to justify to themselves what is and isn't okay based on what happens to be good for themselves. And then you realize like people have no objective morality when it comes to anything. It's like what's good for them, and then they'll justify it, and then believe to themselves that it's okay for everybody to behave that way, or even believe that everyone else behaves that way, and think that's just how things are. I don't think so. I don't think so. That's not the way I justify anything. Been thinking about this stuff a lot lately. We could have this deep discussion about it if you guys would like, but I don't know if social media is the platform for that. I think it's more like a interview type of topic. So I don't know. Like I'm even noticing, like even since TikTok is about to be bad, I don't know what's going on with TikTok. Like I'm noticing like the algorithm's getting worse. It's like I don't care to see these dancing girlies on my feed. I swipe on them. Like if you make a new account on TikTok, you'll notice like what most people actually see because it's just going to feed you the popular stuff. And then you see like, oh, it's all just dancing, stupid stuff, whatever. And then now the algorithm's going back in that direction. It's getting worse. I think they are making edits to TikTok. I think they are making plans on how to exit just in case. And we're getting a chance to experience it. So I'm not hopeful about the platform. I should build an app that lets people like click a link that takes them to another one. Not like a link tree. A link tree is kind of stupid. Like, why would you put a web page with a bunch of links on there and then expect people to make decisions on which link to click? Or, because like one of the things about people is that it's very hard to change people's habits once people get used to something. So like if you're a person who spends a lot of time on TikTok, you're unlikely to be the type of person who also can switch to spending a lot of time on YouTube or vice versa. It's like people are platform zealots. They like one thing and they stick with it. And this goes beyond social media. This is like anything, people's habits. So like even now, like Google search, everybody knows it's crap. Everyone knows you're not going to get the honesty. It's hard to find information through it, yet it's the default search engine for everybody. It's as simple as instead of typing Google, you can type something shorter. You can type duck.com, and it takes you to DuckDuckGo. Boom. You could be doing that, but no one does it. And it's all because of defaults. People default to their natural ways, and it's very hard to get people out of it. Which is why even like if you're going to build or sell anything to people, the standard business advice is to just sell people things that already work, things that they already want. And typically it's related to people's habits. It's like, don't create new demand, don't change behavior. Just ride the wave of something that already works. And this is the natural way of doing business. And probably the smarter way if you just want to make money. Now, if you have a higher purpose, you're actually trying to create something new in the world, that won't work. You have to take a different approach, and you're going to have to convince people that what you're working on is actually more interesting, worth pursuing, or maybe even find like a few zealots who are really passionate ambassadors of what you're doing. And that's a harder thing to do. Like I just watched some streams or some interviews from Alan Kay. He's like this computer scientist from back in the day, formerly part of the research division of Xerox, the printer company. Everyone knows them for their office printers, but which is the thing that put them on the map. But originally they were a computing company. They made a bunch of computer stuff, and they had this research lab called Xerox Park, basically their research division in the Bay Area. And a ton of inventions came out of there. All the things that we rely on for computing these days, all were birthed in one place by like 30 dudes. So we're talking about like the computer, the desktop computer, the graphical user interface that we're all used to today, all came from there. They even networked the computers together, basically creating a rudimentary version of the internet. And we're built something similar in partnership with the government that eventually became the internet and built the backbone for that. They also, since they networked all these computers, they even figured out how to like send messages between these computers, which is basically the rudimentary version of email, which all came from this one place. They invented the mouse. Obviously, they invented the laser printer. Like so many inventions came out of this one place.
And people look back in history, but you don't know anything about Xerox. Most people don't, other than office printers. And the idea that people are sharing is that, like, how could they have fumbled this huge bag that they had? Because they invented everything for computing, and yet it's other companies that were able to dominate these spaces. And in fact, they invited people who ended up taking those ideas and making them gigantic companies. For instance, they invited this guy called Steve. His name was Steve. They invited him to show him their graphical user interface, what a computer in the future could actually look like. Before, it was just like command line stuff. And this Steve guy went and ran with it and realized, like, this is the future of computing. Let's go make our computers that he sold at the time just like that. His name was Steve Jobs. And the idea for the Macintosh came from Xerox PARC. Obviously, Windows went and copied it too. And so, like, people are like, oh man, Xerox could have had the entire industry if they wanted it, because they came up with all the inventions. And I think that's the wrong story. People think it's like, oh, they fumbled the bag. It's like, no. That's not what happened. It's that they were such a successful printer company, that all the other things that weren't related to directly printing were not things people who were running the company could see as the future. The miracle about Xerox is that they even had a research lab that could invent anything in the first place without control from management. Literally, it was just like, the vision was, we will build tools that will enhance human capability related to computers. And these tools will be used to express ourselves and extend ourselves. And so that was the mission. And outside of that, it's just like, give all these nerds some money and let them cook. And that's how they invented all this stuff. So it's crazy. Xerox PARC. I kind of want to make a full YouTube video about Xerox PARC, because it's crazy. Because, like, research departments don't exist like that anymore, which is a shame. It's like everything has to be justified before you make anything happen. It's just so stupid, the world we live in these days. What's up, bro? You're such a good creator. Keep going far in life. All right. Thanks, Jude. 100K followers coming soon. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Like, it's the old videos. I haven't posted a video in, like, I've been barely posting a bit. I haven't posted a video in like 2 weeks or something, or at least a decent one in weeks. And it's all old content that's doing numbers now. And so it's just growing by itself. It's crazy. But I've been thinking about this Xerox PARC stuff, and thinking, like, how could something like that exist today? Repost that Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm taking those videos that are doing stupid because I get notifications all the time from those old videos. It'll make you look younger. Yeah, that's a good point too. So I actually been doing that. Like, the videos that do numbers here, I just repost on Instagram. I edit them to make them a little better, but really it's just the same video. And I repost it. So I literally did that yesterday. Guaranteed views, because I know it worked on TikTok, so it's going to work on Instagram. Which I posted on Instagram. It's just like, when I posted the original video on Instagram, it just wasn't doing, I didn't have a following, so no one saw it. So it's literally just resurrecting these old videos, and I could just print those views. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm doing that. I can't repost it on TikTok because it's already doing numbers here. That comedy stuff works every so often, yeah. Comedy, look, if you're going to make any content, if I were to give any recommendations on the type of content to make, comedy is it. Because if, like, you can actually be funny, especially if it's like pop culture or current events comedy, people will share it because it's funny and it's relevant. And so you live beyond the algorithm. People will share it themselves. And so, like, that Black People Who Sound White video that I posted, I think it did decent numbers here, like 30,000 or something. But on Instagram, it did, like, I think 4 million, because people were sharing it. They're like, this is me, whatever. and I saw the stories that people were posting of that reel. So Instagram's weirder. And then I think I'm just gonna repost them on YouTube too. I think YouTube has their algorithms better because like I reposted a video and it's not doing numbers. I think it might know that it might be a repeat, which sucks about these platforms. It's like a one and done kind of thing, which is a shame, but whatever. Because I know it's a good video. I know it's a good video because it did numbers on TikTok, but whatever. But yeah, I want to make long. I don't know. I think I'm being compelled to like make these longer form YouTube videos where I talk about interesting ideas like Xerox Park and how people get the story completely wrong. So the way people are framing it is like, all right, this company messed up. They had these golden nuggets that they dropped the ball on, when in fact it's like most companies are like Xerox. Only, and then I think Alan Kay in the interview, he was a member of Xerox Park, said this really, really well. Like most businesses are not in the industry, are not in the money making business. They're in the money making. They're in the making money safely business. Xerox Park with the C, it was Xerox, the company in Rochester. Yeah, are they in Rochester? Xerox Park, PARC. Is a research division, Palo Alto Research Center, research and development company in Palo Alto, California. Yeah. A lot of computer developments came out of there, including laser printing. Ethernet actually came out of there. Personal computer came out of there. The graphical user interface came out of that one place. Desktop paradigm. Object-oriented programming. Ubiquitous computing. I'm not sure what that is. Electronic paper. E-ink came out of there, guys. I didn't know that. That's crazy. The computer mouse came out of there. And a certain form of semiconductors. It's crazy. So much of the computer equipment we use today came out of this one place, and it was just like 30 dudes. It's crazy. Let me look that up. But it can be done. What is this? Pushing forward today for a better tomorrow. How do you say it? Battelle? Science, technology create safer, healthier, and secure world. Infrastructure, environment, industry, health, national research. Definitely gonna have to check these guys out. Yeah. What does Battelle do? Major technology centers, national laboratories, conducts research and development, designs, manufactures products, and delivers critical services for government and commercial customers. Okay, so they are a company. This was like a research division out of Xerox, I think. Yeah. Is the Acme? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I was watching these interviews. I never thought I would see the day BlackBerry, Nokia would be a shell of itself. Blockbuster Video, another company that didn't see the vision of digital streaming. They saw the vision of it. They just sucked at the execution, and they weren't willing to pay Netflix the money. I just finished reading actually that Would Never Work by, what's his name? I want to get his name right. That Will Never Work. Mark Randolph, the original CEO of Netflix. Now everyone knows Reed Hastings, but Mark Randolph was the guy who got it from 0 to 1. And the story of how they got started. Did you know Netflix started off as a company that sold DVDs? They also rented at the same time, but primarily most of their revenue came from selling DVDs. They were trying to get rentals to work, but for a long time they struggled because they were charging $4 a rental, just like a Blockbuster, basically. And for a while, they had to wait until DVDs were there when DVDs were becoming a thing. So can you imagine like starting a rental and DVD selling company while DVDs were being produced? Like, it's a crazy thing because there were no titles. They had all the titles, all the DVD titles that existed. They had them because there were only a few of them. This was new technology, and even DVD players were just coming out, and so they actually did like deals with all the major DVD suppliers to offer some like 3 months worth of Netflix. No, they actually offered free DVDs. So with every DVD that sold, you got a free DVD from Netflix, like from their selling side. And I think one of them, they even offered 10 DVDs. It's crazy. They were losing a lot of money doing stuff like that. The whole game for Netflix was trying to figure out this whole like rental business. And they realized like, look, Amazon, they were starting off with the books, and they realized like, oh, Amazon and Jeff Bezos, they're going to get into the DVD game and we can't compete with them on that. And so they had to make the rental part work. And so they sort of cannibalized the selling part and tried a bunch of different things to get the rental stuff to work. And then finally, the realization came when I think they made improvements to their postal service or the packaging. No, they were able to offer a flat fee instead. 1997 or 1999. Originally, it was like $15.99, and then they did it 1999, and they made a profit of about $4 or $5 for every customer every month, just based on all that. And so that was and then no late fees. That was the unlock. And then also when they figured they could automate a lot of the stuff, the packaging, and labeling, which offered them cheaper postage with USPS. It allowed for machine sorting, and it also allowed for next day delivery for local deliveries, using the intelligent mail barcode system, which I could show it to you, but I've been using it when I sell these wallets. So it's crazy. Like, they had to figure it out, and eventually they did. Battelle is not for profit. Okay. The concern was cannibalization. Okay. Yeah. That's fair. I mean, like, the issue Xerox PARC had was so many inventions, the modern things that we use today were invented there. But the problem was, like, they were a laser printing company. That was their bread and butter. And so, like, management didn't even understand, like, the value of what they were building or what they were inventing. So the crazy part is they actually invited Steve Jobs to come and check out some of the stuff they were working on. And that's what inspired Apple to go and they basically just copied the graphical user interface that they discovered. And it turns out, or that they built. And it turns out the graphical user interface that Steve Jobs saw was the training wheels version of it. It turns out they had a different idea of what it should become. But this was just the beginnings of it. But, Steve Jobs carried that forward. And Alan Kay talks about, like, what they had envisioned and what they actually built for the graphical user interface. And it was never supposed to be a point and click Windows within Windows type of thing. It was supposed to be you have an infinite number of desktops, and each desktop is like a collection for a certain type of project. So you don't have folders that you're going through. You don't have windows that you open up where everything's in one place. It's like you have places where you put things. And so it's an interesting way. And I was thinking, like, that might make way more sense because, like, it is kind of hard to navigate. It's not hard, but it's just annoying to navigate through folders to find the right files to open up. Like, it doesn't seem like the right way to, I don't know. I guess we're all used to it, but that wasn't really the original intent, but they never saw it. But the thing is, like, people look at Xerox and think, how could they have fumbled the bag, But in reality, it's like most companies operate the way Xerox operated. It's just they don't have research divisions that they can look back on and think they were sitting on a golden opportunity. And so it's just like the miracle about Xerox is that a place like that could even exist from a corporation like that. And I'm wondering, like, could anything like that ever exist again? Now, Battelle, I mean, like, it seems like they're doing their own thing. which is good. I mean, but I mean, like, if you're a not for profit, you're always going to be capital constrained. So that might be the problem. Like the for profit. Here's the thing: it's not even for. I don't know if the not for profit actually matters. I don't know if that matters. That's the thing. Like, because like what he was saying in there, I thought it was brilliant when he said like, look, we were building $1 trillion opportunities. When you think of it that way, the profit, not for profit thing doesn't matter at all, because we're talking about like entirely new industries that are being birthed. I'm actually reading this book right now, How Innovation Works, by, oh man, what's his name? I don't know. But he's talking about how all these inventions, all these things that we've come to rely on. Like one story about the Wright brothers. Did you guys know they're devout Christians and decided to devote all the time God gave them to their work? That's and why the Wright brothers? It turns out there was a government funded project that tried to discover human man-powered flight and failed completely. But the Wright brothers figured it out. Did you ask your dad if he could trace his clan to Jeopardy? No, I didn't ask him. He's actually in Eritrea right now. So maybe I should have asked him before he left. He left like a couple weeks ago, I think. Elite cameraman. Yo, what's good? Where my beloved TV woman at? I don't know, dude. I don't know. W Dad? Wow, you sound like one of these teens on these apps. You can't talk like them. You got to stop talking like them. W Dad, she says. Do people find talking with you kind of cringe because you're using all these like internet terms? Based. Yeah, that's the right one. That's the right one. What's good, elite cameraman? It's been a minute, huh? I will stop. No, it's fine. I mean, it's all good. Bet. You're funny. You're very funny. I know you said you were going to vote for 45 last time. I think that you said you're with the whole wall thing. Has your opinion changed or has it gotten stronger since this last week? Yeah, okay. Can you do it? A convicted felon, as they say. Oh, man. They like using that term, huh? Convicted. We could talk about jury duty. I've been a juror before. I've been the foreman of a quadruple homicide. I'll write him in. Yeah, that's what I did for Ye. I wrote Ye in back in 2020. But like, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people think like our jury system is something to rely on. It's like, I wouldn't. If I had a choice, I don't know what I would choose. Like, it's easy to say jury of your peers and how like, but the average person does not care about the integrity of the system. The average person doesn't care about justice at all. And I know this because I got a chance to see it firsthand. We were deliberating over this guy's life and people really just wanted to get out of the room. I was just like, yo, we're sending a guy to jail possibly for the rest of his life. Are you serious? People don't care. It's just like they just want to go home. Yeah, the average person doesn't care about justice at all. Yeah, that's why like you can easily know when people are just like it's I don't know if it's scary. It's tragic. That's what it is. It's tragic. People do not care about justice at all. So I had to explain to people what reasonable doubt meant. And it's funny because the entire system will work against you if you're a defendant. That's a crappy thing about the government when it has its eyes on you, bro. It is a terrible experience apparently for people who've ever gone through it. And I've got a chance to be a part of the whole jury duty thing, and I was just like, yo, man, yeah, there is no like. I understand where the founding fathers and like original government and all the ideas came from, but like our country only works if we are a moral people. Like capitalism only works if the people who are engaged in capitalism are a moral people. Like without morals, all this stuff leads to destruction. All of it doesn't matter. These political ideologies don't matter at all if people have no more objective morality that they're being followed, that they're following. You're immoral and proud. Okay, Ringo. Nice to see you here again. I'm just saying, man. It's just like it's nice to think. That's why, like, what's that? Um, did you tell other jurors Reasonable Doubt isn't just a Jay-Z album? No, I didn't. I didn't know Jay-Z had an album called Reasonable Doubt. It's beyond a reasonable doubt. None of this matters when God calls our name, brother. Yeah, I know. I know. That's why it's like I'm not angry about it. I've learned to accept like this is a fallen world. Like we're trying to save souls here, but most people ain't gonna come, and it sucks. But whatever. But yeah, I'm with you on that, man. That's why like I'm seeing all the anger people have about this stuff now. I'm just like, y'all don't even know. You don't even know. So yeah, people are very, very disappointing once you understand that thought process is really just about self-preservation and selfishness and self-preservation. That's what all it is. It comes down to for most people. And it's tragic to realize that even adults, you think like people who've lived lives, they're like, they got gray hair, and they have a family and everything. And it turns out same basic motivations. It's just like people don't grow. People are very disappointing indeed. Yeah. And I think this is the whole Christian message, understanding like, yeah, we're all sinners. Like, that's the Christian message. It's just like, yeah, you will be disappointing. I've been working my way through the Old Testament right now. I just started Joshua. But I read all this stuff before that, and the Israelites are incredibly disappointing people, despite like God and his miracles and saving these people from from the oppression in Egypt. Man, they constantly fail him. And then even like at the end of what's the book I just read? Deuteronomy, right? He just explains like, look, follow my ways and I know you won't. Like I just like they're so sad. It's so sad. Hey Ryan, what's up? What's good? Amen indeed, dude. Amen. It's crazy. And then so like I always wondered like, all right, so the Old Testament stuff is like you don't need that stuff anymore because we follow the new covenant. We have that new covenant stuff, but the Old Testament leads to the New Testament. Like there is no, it's hard to explain unless you read it all, but like the story is incomplete. It doesn't make any sense why the New Testament needs to exist or why the teachings from there are important unless you understand the Old Testament. Because like you realize we'll never be good enough. God's law, it's like, it's a high bar. And even God's chosen people weren't even good enough. And in fact, they were worse. They were constant disappointments all the time. It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. And then they continue to doubt. They see the miracles happen. They're taken care of. They're protected. And yet they still doubt. Or they turn their backs and go worshiping idols and stuff. And it's just like, dang, how are you God's people? I'm sorry, do you have a niche? No, I don't. So feel free to bring up anything. Like this is, yeah, whatever, dude. Like it's open. It's an open conversation. So I'm letting the conversation go wherever it goes. You meant the new dispensation in the New Testament? I don't even know what that means. I just know Old Testament, New Testament. I'm working my way through it. I find these conversations interesting. It's wonderful from an ADHD brain. Oh yeah, dude. Like this conversation can go anywhere. And so that's why we were talking about jury duty. Now we're talking about religion and morality. But next thing could be about the Power Rangers. Like it really is like that. And that's the vibe. Here's the problem though with not having a niche. It's harder to grow. Which is why it's a miracle that the account has the following it has. Because like I have no niche. I literally talk about whatever interests me, whatever I'm inspired to create. Personally, Christianity has been used to make my life hell. That is sad to hear, dog. That is very sad to hear. Was it Christians in your life that oppressed you with faith or with their faith? I think a lot of, man, it sucks to see that stuff because like I'm new to the faith, so I grew up Muslim, and so like I didn't have any like bad experiences with religion or anything like that. But it's just one of those like eternal truths you get exposed to over time, and then finally that shift happens when it all clicks. What do you think about Palestine? I don't think anything about it. So the Philistines, you mean? I haven't read that part yet, so I have no idea how the story's gonna go. I wish I could articulate it better. Yeah. Yeah, here's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people take this Christian message and they contort it and use it in ways to. This is, I think, part of what Christianity teaches as well. It's just like there will be a lot of people who don't understand the message, who aren't actually saved. And I was actually thinking about this today. Like, you know, the whole Christian message is about you are a sinner and you're afflicted by this original sin. It all comes from Adam and Eve. And the idea, at least what I'm reading right now through the Old Testament, is like you're supposed to follow God's laws, to be good, goodness, to be part of Him. But because you sin, you will never be good enough for that. And these sins are debts. They're debts that have to be paid, and you won't be able to pay them. And so that's where Jesus comes in. He pays those for you. So I don't know. I didn't anticipate this being an explanation. Well, I don't know. If you have any thoughts, feel free to put it in the chat. I don't know. Oh, well. Hello, Nikki Cole. What's up? Dog Mom, Future. I feel like I've seen your profile picture before. Have you been here before? Well, we have to understand that the Bible is written by men, and when we read them, we have to make. I'll wait for the other half of that. Yeah, it is written by men. It's from what I understand, divinely inspired. So, like, I mean, everything's written by men technically. So, this is where like oral traditions versus written traditions and stuff like that. All right, I'll read it all. Well, we have to understand the Bible is written by men, and when we read them, we have to make the reference to the place and what was going on at the time. Yeah. Are you evangelical? I don't even know what that means, dude. I'm really new to this. Really, really new. Evangelical. Yeah. I mean, knowing the author of those stories or what the intent of the author was for sure, knowing what was going on at the time, but from my understanding, there's supposed to be internal truths. Now, I know people can misinterpret this stuff. It's very easy to misinterpret this stuff. I'm noticing it. Like, but then, which is why I think it is worth reading and then worth reading several times. So I know I'm going through the Bible right now, but I'm going to have to go through it again and again and again, probably for the rest of my life. Probably reading different translations. I don't know if I'm bold enough to say that one day I'll learn Greek and be able to translate this stuff myself, but I don't know. I don't have a flavor yet. I'm like the white airhead. I don't know, which sometimes doesn't apply to us most times. See, that's where I think it's like I'm a little wary about that because like it's so easy to just dismiss everything in the Bible that way. So it's just like if it's easy to just say it doesn't apply, then you get to follow your own brand of Christianity, which then it's just like, why even be Christian in the first place, you know? Like, like it has some ideas. That whole idea being like you believe Jesus died for your sins and was resurrected. That's what the faith requires. That's it. You just have to believe He died for your sins and He's resurrected. Now you're saved. Now all the other stuff, it's just like, it's not commanding us to live in a certain way for salvation. It's just when you have been saved, you live a certain way. It's a different thing. I haven't quite been able to articulate it yet, but I feel like every day I get closer and closer to figuring it out. I take the Bible as a blueprint. I take the Bible as the truth. As a blueprint. I don't. Here's the thing. Like, this is where like I think women fall into this trap more, where it's so easy to just like go by their feelings. Which I mean, I think the story is they have a stronger connection with the Holy Spirit, but I mean, it's so easy to justify the things in our lives, and this is why I think it is worth reading the Bible. Like, use it as a blueprint. But it's worth reading it because you can't know if what you're doing is right. Just you alone, which a lot of people I think are tempted to do. I know I don't have the answers, so I find my answers in the book. And it turns out I get the answers when I need them. So that's another thing I didn't expect coming out of this stuff. Like, you get the answers when you need them. Like, but you have to take the step forward knowing that answers, having faith, the answers will come. And so this is the whole faith thing. I think a lot of people are looking for assurances too these days. People want certainty, but what if you don't get to have them? What if you don't get to have certainty until you take that path? Or never get to have certainty. You take that path forward, that narrow door with faith that you will be provided for in all the ways that you need. Not in the ways you want, but in the ways you need. And I think that's hard to accept for a lot of people, but I've been learning to embrace it. So when Paul writes to churches, we wrote a letter to one of his church stating that women really hate 1 Timothy chapter 2 and 3. I know. I've read it several times. Women really hate that. I have heard an explanation that sort of permits women to being pastors. But if a church has a female pastor and they're not arguing this one explanation I've heard, then they are kind of going against the word of God. Like, it's sort of defiant of the thing. And it's just like, not allowed to preach, but that is not what he meant. Well, I mean, if you go to the original translations, apparently it's actually referring to elders in churches. And it's not just a singular person. It is a group of people. And that's what it's referring to. Now, the explanation I've heard that allows women to be pastors, as the translations usually allow, or the word that the 1 Timothy chapter 2 and 3 use, is if you categorize a modern church as not being a church at all, which is a fair argument. Because, like, apparently, I've heard people explain this, and I've read Acts too. So the gatherings where people are actually preaching are more like discussions. They're not like a singular dude standing on a stage, sharing the word, and everyone just. It's not a theater. It's a conversation. It's more like if you know about England, they have speakers corner where people are like having dialogue with each other. That is what a lot of what happens in Acts, apparently. And I've heard that explanation, and that is what's considered like the church. And church is more like a lifestyle where people are actually living among each other. And if you take a certain translation that defines those words in 1 Timothy chapter 2 and 3 as elders, then whatever this is, the modern church of like an organization with hierarchical structures and all that, which is counter to what's actually referred to in, because like if you think about like the synagogues that are described in the Bible, that's what a modern church actually resembles, the synagogues. And so if you define it that way, then yeah, of course women can be pastors because it's not even a church. And so I'm like, okay, that's one way to do it. But if they really believe these are churches and this is what's being described in the Bible, then it is contrary to 1 Timothy chapter 2 and 3, which I know women don't like hearing it, but hey, the word's the word. Not allowed to preach, but what he meant. What happens is that he was like a bishop writing to his churches at the time. At that particular church, something was going on. and he asked for women not to preach in that one church, not all churches. Nah, that's not what he's saying. That's not what I got. 1 Timothy chapter 2, pretty clear. Pretty clear. He gives a reason for it. Why? Well, in chapter 2, he explains women can't have leadership over men, essentially. And then chapter 3 uses a lot of pronouns that are pretty clear. It's a dude. It has to be a dude. And you can say it's just that, but it's like, then just dismiss everything then. If you can just say all these letters to all these churches were just specific to that church. And if you read it that way, then sure. Like, you can justify anything you want. But it's pretty clear, I think. And here's the thing, it doesn't even restrict women. It restricts a lot of dudes from taking elder roles in church communities. So that's the thing. It was in that one church. He was writing to that church, but he was describing the structure of a church. That's the thing. Like, so that's the difference there. So it's like, you can say that about everything in the Bible then. That's the problem. That's the thing I haven't quite reconciled with people who say that. It's just like, all right, if you say it's about that specific church, then you could say that about everything that's written. It was just for that time. Then what? I don't know. It just seems like a easy out to me. There's going to be things in the Bible we don't like, and it is what it is. So for that specifically, like if people define their church as is being described as a church in the New Testament, then having a female pastor or elder or whatever, deacon is an exception. There is a translation in there specifically that says women. So deacons could be, which are, from what I understand, help with church operations and stuff. So maybe, but pastor is pretty clear. Like, something is wrong in one, you will not apply to all your churches. Yeah, it's a guiding principle. Like, like that's what he's teaching. He's telling Timothy how the church is supposed to run. Like, now I accept the whole, like, they're not that what's being described in the New Testament is not a reflection of what the churches are today. In which case, yeah, you can have female pastors because they're not even churches. So if you want to call it that, then I'm like, all right, cool, fine. Like, that makes sense to me. And it's consistent with the stuff that's in the book. Today, our churches are more like synagogues. So, yeah. You can run it however you want because it's kind of like a corporation. Etsy, bring back your Jeopardy brother. Wait, what do you mean? Read the message before that one. I read all of Timothy. Like, I read it all. I've read it multiple times I don't feel one type of way or another about it. I find it kind of, I do find it kind of weird that, man, women really here's the thing. You don't have to be Christian. That's the part I don't understand. Like, when people like fight the word and just like contort it for their own lives so it's consistent with their worldview, I'm just like, you don't have to be Christian. Like, you can just, I don't know. That just blows my mind. There's plenty of things I don't like hearing. For me, the 1 Timothy chapter 2 and 3, even the rest of the whatever, that stuff doesn't really affect me that much. I mean, I don't care. Like, people can run their churches however they want. I'm not going to tell them, don't run your church that way. It is contrary to the Bible, so that's a bad sign, but whatever. For me, the book I struggle with is Book of Romans. Is it with the S or a? I struggle with the rebellious part where he starts talking about obeying your government stuff. I don't like it. Can I say, oh, he just meant it for people who were under Roman occupation? I could do that. But then what's the point of the word? He was just talking about Romans at the time. It's just like, no, it's a general, what's the point of this, you know? I think we often read the word literally. I think they're guiding principles. Like, and he gives reasons for a lot of a lot of his teachings or his for why he thinks what he thinks. And so it's like you can dismiss so much of the Bible by saying it's only for that period of time. And we're supposed to, and if we think of the word as the truth, then why would the truth change? Because the time period's different. So it's like you don't have to like it. You just have to follow it. And so, yeah, I struggle with the whole government, obey the laws and all that stuff. I have a rebellious spirit. So here's another thing. I think a lot of people fall into this trap of thinking because you have a gift that you're meant to use it in a certain way. And so like women who have a feeling like they're supposed to share the word, feel like they are called to be pastors. It's like, it doesn't, you can still share the word without being a pastor or preaching to people. If you believe that what 1 Timothy chapter 2 and 3 are actually what he means. And so like, I have the gift of rebellion. I can fight. I don't care what other people think, so I can move differently. I want to fight, but that doesn't necessarily mean I can, because Romans is pretty clear. So I have to just be a good citizen. It sucks, but it is what it is. So I guess these men behind Jesus with a pen and paper writing all days. No, I don't think Paul was just inspired by the Holy Spirit. Yeah. Not accurate in the, like, of course there are going to be differences between, because there are translations, right? They're translations. So there are going to be mistakes in the translation, but it is divinely inspired. That's the thing. Like, it's not, I don't think the Bible's ever claimed to be the true and accurate word of God. It's divinely inspired. What do you think of women pastors? Oh yeah, we just talked. I just had this whole conversation with Ryan. So quick summary. If you define the modern church as the church that's being described in the New Testament and 1 Timothy chapter 2 and 3, it's pretty clear that women can't be pastors. Maybe deacons, but not pastors, not leading a church. Now, if you consider the modern church as more like a synagogue, which is actually more like what it is, then of course women can be pastors because it's not even describing a church. It's not even applying to a church. So depends on how you see it. So as far as I'm concerned, I go to church. I didn't go today, but I normally go to a church. But I do see the appeal of it not being actually the church that's being described in the New Testament. And the New Testament stuff seems more like a community. And so that's what the church actually might be. And so that's why I've been getting more involved with other Christians here. So yeah, that's how you say it. If you are inspired, you're going to write based on your feelings and morals, right? If you're divinely inspired, you write what based on the inspiration. I don't know if it's like, it's not your feelings or morals, it's your inspiration. I've had moments like that where I'm making a video and I'm like, I don't even know how I made this. Like, I'm not saying it's Holy Spirit. Don't get me wrong. It's not. But like when the Holy Spirit works in miraculous ways, and especially like through someone like Paul, like women were the first preachers of the word. Could be, but that doesn't matter. Like I know people like to look at examples of this stuff in the Bible and just like, yeah. So like the word is, guys, we can't just say it's all period stuff. Otherwise, then you can just dismiss everything. Like with Romans, or is this an ongoing debate or is it generally asking for clarification? What do you mean? I don't, we're not debating. I think Ryan and I disagree, but I think the Bible's pretty clear on this. 1 Timothy chapter 2 and 3 lay out the requirements, or yeah, actually chapter 3 lays out the requirements. And if the translations are correct, then it's pretty clear about it. And I know a lot of women don't like to hear it, but it is what it is. Now, if you here's the thing: pastor might not even be a correct translation. It might be more like elder. And if that's the case, then even the structure of the church doesn't even make any sense. In which case, then, if you consider the church, the modern church, as not being a church, because it's not actually the way a church ran back in the day or in the period of the New Testament, then of course women can be pastors because it's not even a church. And so it's like, it depends on how you define what the church is. I'm still reading this stuff and trying to understand, going back, reading the Greek and trying to understand this stuff. But just based on the words alone and the common translations of these Greek words, women can't be pastors. It's pretty clear. Like, don't argue with me, argue with the Bible. Like, that's it. It is what it is. I wasn't sure what or why he was rebutting. He did make a point about, like, it was referring to that specific church, but I would argue that these are timeless ideas, especially when it's something like requirements for how something should be ran. Check out Mary, who realized Jesus was risen, and she went to spread the word that he was risen. Yeah, I know. Women can spread the word. It doesn't mean taking a leadership role of a church is not the same thing as, I don't know, seemed argumentative, and I was just curious as to why. No. Yeah, I don't think he's being argumentative. That is preaching. Yeah, a pastor, though, the role of pastor. Women can preach. The role of pastor, taking an elder position in a congregation. Women can't do that. According to, a lot of men can't do that either, which is the part people always gloss over. Because, like, I can't be a pastor. And it specifically calls that out. I specifically can't. You can preach, but you can't be a pastor. So, like, preaching, spreading the word, it's all good. Yeah, of course women can do it. In fact, women might actually be better at it. But, yeah. Why can't I be a pastor? Because I'm a recent convert. 1 Timothy chapter 3 calls that out specifically. Recent converts can't be pastors as defined, as a lot of translations define in the book. I accept it. It is what it is. It's like, yeah, it's okay. I'm not mad about it. So if that's the case, a woman cannot take the lead in their home. A man's supposed to take the lead. He's supposed to guide her. She can share the message, but as far as the lead, no, it's supposed to be him. That's specifically called out. I think that's specifically called out. I don't know if leadership, wait, let me think about it. He's supposed to play the Jesus role in that relationship. Men lead, women follow. Women have to submit, right? The man is supposed to play the role of Jesus Christ, and women are supposed to play the role of the church. So the man sacrifices himself for her, and she follows him. That's what we're representing here. Like, it's the order, guys. It's the order. What's new, low bro? Nothing much. Oh, I thought you had a baby mama. I don't. And what if he can't? Because some can't. He has to learn to. And she has to let him. That's the tough part. I'm not going to lie. It's a tough thing. If you're married to a guy, ladies, and it didn't start off biblically, it's going to be tough for both of you. It's going to be tough because, yeah, he's supposed to lead, but he doesn't want to. That is a good answer because it's the same mistake Adam made. It's the same mistake. We're not supposed to This is why this whole original sin makes so much sense to me, because I'm like, men don't want to take leadership positions in their relationships, which they're called to do and sacrifice for her, himself for her. It's like servant leadership, sort of. And she's supposed to follow him. But men are making the same mistake Adam made by following her. The same mistake. I'm not making that mistake. I don't think you should either. That's what I'm saying. You're religious? Yeah, I am religious. LOL, that's not a good answer. It's a good answer. Why does the Bible say women can't be pastors? Um, I would just refer you to First Timothy chapter 3. First Timothy chapter 2 gives a reason, and then First Timothy chapter 3 gives the requirements. It actually restricts not just women, but a lot of men from being pastors too, including me. Some men can't lead. We are not called to be leaders. We're called to be leaders in our relationships, in our marriages. We are. Like what the reason it gives. First Timothy chapter 2, if you extend it to chapter 3, chapter 2 says women can't have a leadership role over men, and specifically because of Eve. Eve was the one who was deceived. I would just say read the Bible. Just read chapter 2 and 3. First Timothy chapter 2 and 3. It's not even a long read. It does. What are you talking about? Tell her how to read it. Not all called. Yeah, very few people can be pastors. Very few people. And even if I wasn't a recent convert, I don't have the personality traits of being a pastor. It has to be someone who is above reproach, who doesn't have like, I think rebelliousness is called out in there. Lack, open. There's a lot in there. I meant we are not all called to be leaders. We're all called to lead our wives. Yeah, dude. We're supposed to be the Jesus figure in our marriages. Like, that's repeated. Not leaders among people, but in your relationship with your wife. Like, that's what you have to do. You're supposed to sacrifice yourself. Yeah, you're not called to it, but guess what? You have to do it. What's going on? I'm a leader, but I don't got confidence. I don't know. Okay. I don't think you need confidence. You just have to take the role on. Lead as in be the example. Yeah, and sacrifice yourself for her too. So I wish I had enough follows to come up and speak. Okay. I don't know. Dude, I've been deep in this stuff, man. I'm pretty sure you're wrong about pretty much everything, but it's okay. You don't have to, dude, it's so clear. We're not supposed to make the same mistake Adam made. We're not, guys. He followed her. That's why they fell. Do you understand? And it's his fault. It's his fault. It's not her fault, fellas. If you follow her and things lead to doom because you're not following God's order, guess what? It's your fault, fellas. Because you know better. You know better. Don't make the same mistake Adam made. So glad you're studying to show yourself approved. Okay. It's just, it's the lawyer. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, you're a lawyer. It's like, that would be interesting. I don't know if a debate on the Bible would be useful for people. But this is what I'm learning. And there's a lot of things I don't like about what I've been learning, but I have to just accept it because it's the word, it's the truth. And studying to be ready to give a defense. Good job. Well, here's the thing. I'm surprised a lot of Christians don't read their Bibles. It's crazy. This is why, like, you see these clips on social media where like Christians are getting like schooled by like Muslims or atheists or whatever. It's just like, and then I see it and I'm getting to the point where I have the rebuttal prepared off the top of my head. I'm like, these people clearly don't read their Bibles. Because if you did, you would know they're either they're getting it out of context or they're lying, or it's usually something like that. There's something that they're missing usually. Which makes sense as to why he's so argumentative. Yeah. That makes sense. It's okay. I like the pushback. It's not even pushback. I think this is just we're just sharing the word with each other. That's the way I see it. So yeah, guys, if you're Christian, please read your Bible. Please read it. Because you're going to be confronted on this stuff, and if you don't know it, like you don't got to memorize. I don't know. I want to get to the point where I can just like read off lines word for word verbatim. I'm not there yet, but I'm definitely reading this stuff and understanding the holistic story of this. And then also reading the challenging parts, which, I mean, I have personal challenges with a lot of things in there too. I just have to come to accepting it. Okay. Stand on what you believe. That's fair. So, yeah. So, fellas, yeah, you're called to lead. Not the world, but definitely your family. So, yeah. I don't know if there's much more to say on that. I think you just like knowing what you're talking about. I do. I no, it's not that I like knowing what I'm talking about. I don't like talking about things I don't know, which is why like this stuff I'm pretty certain about. Well, even now I'm not even that certain because eventually I know I'm going to have to go deep into the different versions of the Bible and how certain words have been translated. So for instance, in 1 Timothy chapter 3, there's a line in there that mentions wives of pastors or deacons or whatever. But it's oh no, in the line where it mentions deacons, and it's explaining like the duties or like the responsibilities of deacons. And in some translations, they use the word wives as if it's a reference to the pastor's wife. But in fact, the original translation for in Greek is actually women, in which case you can make the case that women can be deacons because it's using the women. It's not referring to wives. But then the whole thing, I don't know. I'm still a little confused about how it's all coherent. But like, if you want to say women can be deacons, it's like, all right, in the original translations, it is women. So now some people might want to carry that over to the earlier part of First Timothy chapter 3, where they actually talk about the requirements of being a pastor, which uses the pronoun he a lot, and then also refers to the person who takes on that role and their wife and how they are in their families. And then it's like, all right, it's pretty clear that it's supposed to be a man. Or at least male. I don't know if it's see. This is the idea. This is where like it gets a little confusing because it's like, what is the structure of a church actually supposed to be? Which, I mean, if you consider the modern church not being what it's supposed to be, then it doesn't apply. None of these things apply to a modern church because it's not even a church. And so that's the part you can get around it. In which case, I can't argue against that. I'm like, that's the way to make this work. But if you really believe that it's not referring to men, then I'm like, yeah, it is. I go deep in the Bible, and when I read it, I use the reference part of the Bible to understand what was going on and what was mentioned in the Word. That's fair. I mean, like the historical stuff. I actually have a study Bible too that has a bunch of those like excerpts or like framing things in certain ways for that time period or giving more context, and especially those paragraphs in between for that too. But I'm understanding like it's really easy to like dismiss a lot of this stuff if you just explain it away as if it's just a period thing. It's just for that time. It's like, unless it says that specifically, I don't know if you can make that case. Now it is important to understand what was going on in that time. So like, this is where I think even reading the Old Testament is so useful to understand like all the references in the New Testament that go back to the Old Testament. So you understand the context of those things. Because like, I didn't know that Aaron was a big deal. I didn't even know about Aaron until I finished reading, what was it? Is it Leviticus? I think it's Leviticus, yeah. And then Moses doesn't even get to go to the promised land. I didn't know that. I had no clue. It's just like, what? Because he disobeyed God once. Once. That's crazy. That's crazy. To understand what's going on, what's the thing mentioned in the Word? Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of the Bible was inspired by God and their interpretation of him at the time. Context is super important as well. Yeah, totally. Like, it's funny. Like, you even find people completely twisting the word in the opposite because this is why, like, I know you mentioned you like reading Proverbs and stuff. And as someone who's probably read a lot of the Bible already, you have the context, but it's so easy to jump into a section like Proverbs and start reading just bits of it and think, oh my God, this is so profound, unless you understand the whole context of it. you will miss the meaning. For instance, in the book of Ecclesiastes, there is a line that talks about, it's a section that describes how a fool thinks. And people take a line from there as if it says it's okay to basically use a line in there that justifies wealth and money and hoarding and having a lot of it, not realizing that's how a fool thinks. And so it's just like that context really matters. And so this is why I think it is also useful to just read the Bible. It's just so like when people bring up stuff, you can be, you know where it's coming from, because it's usually just someone picking something out of the Bible. It's just like, come on, bro. Like, it's not even that long of a book. It's like 1,500 pages or something in my version. It's not that long. It is long, but it's not that long. What are we talking about? We're talking about Bible interpretation, I guess. Yeah. So do you believe that Jesus is Lord, or he has a father who is sitting in heaven? So the Trinitarian theory. All right, let's do it. I think he is God and there is a father. That's what I think. I don't know if that answered your question. Jesus is God and there is a father who is also God. And then there's also the Holy Spirit who's also God. That's what I think. How is that? Okay. It's going to be hard to, I don't think it's something we can comprehend. But I know, here's the thing. This is awesome because like I actually came to this realization like a month ago about how, because I was struggling with this whole thing too. Like how is it three persons and they're all God and all this stuff? Let me read up these comments and I'll explain. Also, they need to get to know the writers as well, which is why content is so important. That makes no sense. Jesus is Lord, bro. Jesus only? No, there's definitely a father for sure. Context. How do you explain the Old Testament? Who's the Lord in the Old Testament? Who's the Lord for you? I think it's the Father, but I don't know. Read Acts. I did read Acts. I could, if you point out a specific part of Acts, I could definitely go read it again. But it's pretty clear that there is a Father, dude. Like, who is he praying to? When in, I think, one of the Gospels, when he's like praying to the Father that he doesn't have to go through the crucifixion, who's he praying to? Himself? His son came down. His son came down. So I'm a little confused. Like, so the guy's praying to himself when he tells people that his apostles, he was the man in that. So he's praying to himself. Just to be clear, he's praying to himself when he tells his homeboys to like stay up, wait for me, and they all fall asleep. And he goes, praise. The easiest way to explain it is I'm someone's sister, someone's mom, someone's boss. Ooh, that is interesting. That is a very interesting way. It's complicated. I know it's complicated. It is complicated to be persons, but I'm still one person, 3 in 1. That is a very interesting way to explain it. I think there are going to be things in here that we can't just fully grasp. But here's how I think I came to this answer that there is a Father, there is Jesus. I haven't quite reconciled the Holy Spirit, but I felt the Holy Spirit, so I kind of know that's real too. But if you read Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, and the Lord said, let us make mankind in our image and likeness, right? First of all, there's plurals used. I have to look at the Greek translation because I'm just thinking now, maybe if I look at the Greek translation, yeah, I did. That's what got me into Christianity. I felt the transformation through me, basically. But Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, and the Lord said, let us make mankind in our image and likeness. I don't know if I'm getting the words perfectly, but that's basically the vibe. First of all, plurals are used. So persons. Okay, I think that's pretty clear. But then if you think about what he says in there, in our image and likeness, it's like it's pretty clear that what to me that it's referring to Adam being based off of a man-like figure, because that's what Adam's based off of. Let us make him in our likeness. And so essentially, I think that verse is saying that Jesus was there since the beginning. That's what Adam's based on. It's like you look at the Bible and you think like Adam was the beginning, Jesus was the end. It's like, no. Adam is based on Jesus. Jesus the man. And so like it flips the whole thing. And when I came to that realization, I was just like, yo, Jesus was there in the beginning. He was there with God, the Father. And that's what Adam's based on. He's the man that Adam's based on. Yo, what's up, Kirk? What's good? It's been a minute. You really are one of us? I mean, like, I can't. I was at this men's gathering. I was explaining it to a guy. I was explaining, like, bro, I don't even have a choice in being Christian or not, because like I went through that transformation. I felt reborn in real time, and I had a witness there too, and it happened. And I was describing things, and they were confirming it all because they're Christian. This is my fiance; she was there at the time when it happened, and it happened out of the blue. Not like I was being dunked in water or anything. It was literally just standing in this kitchen right here. This kitchen here will always be special because I was sitting right there. I was sitting against the sink, and it happened, and I was just like, "Yo." When Jesus said, "If you see me, you see my Father," explain that. So we have to go through Jesus to get to God. Yeah. He is our salvation. So this is where like the Old Testament law and the New Testament covenant really come in, because we are sinful people, and those sins have to be paid for. Those are debts. And I was thinking about an analogy today about how to explain this to people. Like if you started a business, it failed, you owe your creditors a bunch of money, you go to bankruptcy court, they divide your assets, but there isn't enough assets to make everyone whole. And so your creditors eat the loss. They eat the loss. Now, God's laws are good and they have to be followed. And if you don't, sin, which you're accruing a debt that has to be paid for. But how are you gonna pay that, bro? How are you gonna pay that? So the question is like, who eats that loss? There are no creditors you can go to. It turns out we have a gift from someone, a benefactor who came in to pay that for us, to get us out of this debt, this hole of debt we're in. And it turns out this guy is the Son of God, Jesus, who can pay that debt for us. So yes, we get to God through Jesus because he's paying our debts. This conversation is so good. I'm on a 7-day leave, so now I can't. So now I can stay up to finish it. Yes. What's God's name? I don't know. I'll just call him the Father. First of all, we can't follow all the laws. No one can. Right. Even God's chosen people couldn't. Even God's chosen people couldn't. And so we can't. And so we have to rely on Jesus to do that, to save us from this. Nothing much. Start work tomorrow. Oh, dang. All right. Is it a new job or? Because I don't know because I know you were going to school, but I guess school's out right now, right? Meant to say I can stay up to finish it. Yeah. Jesus is God. Jesus is God. I'm not disagreeing with you, bro. But the Father is also God, and the Holy Spirit's also God. They're all God, and they're the same God, but they're also different persons. Oh, internship. All right, where is it? Can you actually don't mention it? Don't mention it. Just let me know what field it's in. But good for you, dude. Good for you. Is anyone else hearing feedback on the audio? Is it? I'm using this microphone right now. I could take it out if that would be easier. Just put a 1 in the chat if you guys are having a problem with the audio. You have a father, I have a father, but our father has a name.
Okay. Yahweh? Is that what you mean? I don't know what you're getting at. Or is it Yeshua? Is that what it is? I don't know. I'm not good with names, so I'm sure maybe it was mentioned, but yeah. Like, I didn't expect this conversation to go here, but so we're serving several gods? No, we're serving one God. I know it's confusing. I can't explain it, but it's true. Like, that's the thing. Like, you have to learn to. I don't know. See, this is the thing. There are going to be some secrets, some understandings, some things beyond our understanding. That's what I'm realizing. There are things beyond our understanding, and I'm making that one of those, I guess. It's a mix of software engineering, creative media. Nice, nice. Any fashion involved in that? Or do you get to work with any fashion houses or anything as part of that? That'd be really cool. Get you into the door. That'd be really, really cool. Makes no sense. I'm done. Oh, it doesn't have to make sense. That's the thing. It just has to be true. Like, there are going to be things beyond our understanding. I know it's like, oh, so there's multiple. It's like, no, it's one God. It's one God. But different persons. I know. It's confusing for me too, dog. It is. I don't think I could convince you, and I don't think I can rationalize it. This is why I like Alexis's explanation. Like, you can be different things to different people. They're all God. They're all God. No, it's related to automotive, though. So somewhat. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm not the person to be, I don't know. I'm sure someone out here has a better explanation for it. They who? Father, Jesus, and Holy Spirit. 3. There you go. It's not supposed to make sense. Like, I don't, it's not supposed to make sense, man. Like, okay, you can say no. It's fine. But, I mean, you're going to have to reconcile the plurality used in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. I don't know. I'm going to look up the Greek translation after this to make sure that those plurals are those plurals and they were meant to be plurals. And if you agree that the Bible is true, then reconcile that. And then also all the mentions. Then you have to look at, so the Old Testament God is Jesus. Is the Old Testament God Jesus to you? Because I'm reading the Old Testament. It sounds like a father figure for sure. Who's constantly disappointed in his children, which is why, like, which kind of makes Jesus our brother. Jesus has always been Jesus. Okay. Yeah, I know. I agree with you. Jesus has always been Jesus, but it's the Father acting in a lot of. Here's the interesting one. Like when Jacob, I think it's Jacob who was like wrestling with God. I think he was wrestling with Jesus. I think. I don't know. I'd have to like read more into this, but he's God of all the. Okay. Father is a title. Give me names. Well, okay. You would be the worst person to argue with if this was a serious conversation. Who? Me or him? And why would it be bad? I don't know. I'm very confused now. I'm very confused. I'm just saying, like, yeah, I'm confused too. Yeah, I don't know. I'm working my way through the Old Testament, so I'm just understanding, like, yeah, the Father, you know how to agree to disagree. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, like, I'm not I'm new at this. I'm not even like, I'm humble enough to know what I know and humble enough to know what I don't know. So I know I can't explain this. I'm not even in a position to explain.
I just know the answer makes sense to me. Cause I had this same issue. I was like trying to reconcile this whole thing. Cause like, I come from a Muslim background. So I know it's just like, how are you believing in multiple gods? That's you're polytheists, whatever. It's like, I don't know. The Bible does explain, at least when I stumbled on that verse in Genesis, I was like, oh, okay. He was there. So clearly there's like a relationship with, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I'm not gonna lie. It is hard to explain, but I mean, it says what it says. So it's not really. But you're doing good though. Okay, we're having an intellectual conversation. Yeah, I think that's why she's enjoying it too. You're using scripture to back your understanding. That's good. Yeah, I mean that's the only thing we can do, right? Like I know I wouldn't feel comfortable just like I don't know. I feel like sometimes people are like, oh, the Holy Spirit has called me to do whatever. I'm like, first of all, I don't know you, but if you can point to the Bible, that's a great thing because it's like universal ish. Because obviously the translation you use matters and the context of it matters. And we could always reference the Bible too. So that's the only thing I can point out. That's the only thing I can do. So I haven't worked my way through the entire Bible yet. So I can't recall any other instances where it's clear that Jesus and the Father are separate things, but then also both God, which is hella. I'm not going to lie. He's right. It is hella confusing. It's hella confusing. And I shouldn't even be saying hella in this context of this conversation. But I mean, like, I can't make sense of it. I just know the word says the word and it's plural. That's all I know. So yeah, that's where I'm at. But yeah, I'm working through all this stuff, and it's just like, man, it's kind of crazy. And the funny thing is, like, as you read the word again and again, and you just open up certain parts that you've read before and reread it, you get more answers. It's like it's a deep book. It's a deep book, but that's hard to explain to people, especially if they don't normally read the Bible. I was thinking about making a video explaining like how, because it seems contradictory how science and faith can be really compatible, and in history it has been. Because it's just like, all right, how could you believe in a God and a creator, but then also be rational and follow the scientific method to discover the secrets of the natural world? And in fact, they're actually very compatible and might be necessary. It might be necessary to be faithful to do great scientific work, or at least because like one of the things, do you believe in the Big Bang Theory? I mean, I don't know. I haven't given it much thought. Since going deep into this faith, I'm going to have to like reconsider everything. Big Bang Theory, I mean, that's a cool explanation, I guess. And it is consistent with a lot of the things we measure about the universe and the expanding nature of it. And if you extrapolate back from that expansion, then naturally it's easy to conclude that it all started from one single Big Bang. But to answer how did the Big Bang even happen, or there's a lot of extrapolation. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a lot of conclusions made from observations and just going backwards in time. But I don't know. Sure, why not? Read up on it. Yeah. Like I read up on weird stuff all the time, so I'll look back into it again, but I feel like the Big Bang was God's voice speaking, let there be light. Could be, actually. That's a great explanation for it. True, but it's interesting. Yeah. I think a lot of people who aren't of the faith or don't believe in God, because I don't know if, like, it's easy to say for us Christians, like, this is the truth, but even beyond just Christianity, like, to understand, like, faith might be required to make scientific discoveries because there are things to discover. If you believe in a creator, then you also believe that there is reason, or at least intention, behind the design. And God made us in his image, and it's for us to discover. And so that's just how they're actually incredibly compatible. And you look back in history and how a lot of people of scientific and industrial and engineering innovations happen to be religious people themselves, oftentimes Christian too. For instance, the Wright brothers of the invention, first time of man-powered flight. They were devout Christians. They were devout Christians. They devoted all their time to God. They devoted all the time God gave them to figuring out flight. And if you do believe in a creator, then you believe there are answers to discover. And so you go and try to discover it, and you have faith that there are answers there. And so you end up finding these answers. So I'm starting to understand that like faith might be necessary to make scientific or world discoveries, which is why like the secular explanations for a lot of this stuff is just like multiverse. Really? Let's just make up stuff. Like it's like, all right, bro, whatever. It's like, sure. You can say anything you want, I guess. True, but it's interesting. That's just my opinion. True. Yeah. So that's my position on it. So I'm thinking about putting together a video just explaining all that. Like, it's not, which is funny. Like when the atheists try to like make fun of people who believe in God, it's just like, do you realize all the things that you rely on for your life? If you really think you're just an animal and you're thinking about evolutionary biology and that's all we are, then understand like the things that you rely on for your life to improve over time is usually discovered or built or made by people of faith. And the reason why is because they're the ones looking to see if there are answers in our natural world, because they believe that there was intent behind the design. It's like it all is so cohesive. And I think people miss that stuff. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. These answers just come to me and it's just like, it all starts making sense. You are an atheist? No. I'm Christian. It's a weird thing to say too, because it's like, even now it's a little, I don't know if it's hard for me to say, but I don't know. I've just been following. So it might be hard for people in my personal life to accept, which, I mean, okay. God comes first. I don't know what to tell y'all. If you watch this, sorry, not sorry. I'm actually not sorry. Yeah, I'm actually super grateful. But nice to see you here again, Azra. Yeah. Period. Yeah. We're all Christian up in here with different interpretation. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'll win you over eventually, Ryan. Nah, I'm not trying to win you over. The Holy Spirit, I'll pray. The Holy Spirit works on your soul. And I guess you'll do the same for me, right? Nope. Yeah, this is good though. What's thoughts on Apophis meteor? I don't know what that is. Let me Google that. Apophis meteor. Asteroid. Near Earth object estimated to be about 1,100 feet across. When it was discovered in 2004, it was identified as one of the most hazardous asteroids that could impact Earth, but that impact assessment changed after astronomers tracked Apophis and its orbit became better determined. A radar observation campaign, March 2021, combined with precise orbit analysis, allowed astronomers to conclude that there is no risk of Apophis impacting our planet for at least a century. Yeah. No, but serious. God is Jesus is God, and I'm standing on that. Period. Okay. I don't disagree with that statement. I just also think there's a father. So we're like halfway agreement. I think we're almost there. Meteor heading to Earth in 2035. Okay. Um, rotating back possibly 2058. I wonder what the orbit looks like. Because, like, here's the thing. There's a really easy way to solve this problem. Orbit. It takes 324 days. I want to see a picture of it. Let's see. Found a picture. Apophis. There's a really easy way to fix this problem, guys. If it doesn't hit in 2035, it's supposed to rotate back towards Earth in 2058. The easy way to fix this is to just speed it up. Just speed it up. Or slow it down, either one. Just one of the two. That's how orbits work. If you ever wondered why, whenever you see a SpaceX rocket launch, it starts off straight and then it starts curving. The reason why it curves is so it can maintain orbit, so it can fall around the Earth, and so it's gathering speed in the horizontal direction. So right now, if the orbit is as it is right now, all you got to do to enlarge the orbit or shrink the orbit so that it completely misses the Earth is to speed it up or slow it down. That's it. A small rocket could probably be enough. If it doesn't hit in 2035, it's supposed to rotate back towards Earth in 2058. Okay. Some guy from Florida just broke into my house, stole my breakfast burrito. That sucks. This conversation's over my head now. Oh no, I was just like, it's just asteroid. It doesn't. I don't know. I haven't heard of it before, but I do remember taking orbital mechanics class, and yeah, if we really need to do something about it, it turns out we as people figure out a way for self-preservation at all costs usually. Call the police. Oh yeah, stole your burrito. Yeah. But humans have only been in space to orbit around Earth. No, but if it gets so close to Earth, maybe you can send something to it. And we've been around the moon, I guess, if you want to debate that, which I guess is pretty close. How close does it get, though? That is a good question. No, we've sent stuff. Like, I hate using the word we. They've sent stuff much further beyond the orbits of Saturn and Pluto and all that. No, we've never been to the. Oh, we're really opening up this can of worms, huh? All right, let's do it. What do you mean we've never been to the moon? How can we blow anything? We don't have to blow it up. You just need to speed it up or slow it down, and the orbit changes. And so you can just have it miss the planet instead of impacting the planet. That's it. You could blow it up, I guess. I don't know what. All right. Just put like what do they call it? Those like radiation booster. Dang, what's it called? It's an atomic engine, basically. Okay, you're hurting my head too heavy in the late night. LOL. I mean, there is proof that. How many miles is the moon from Earth? Let's Google it. How far is the moon from Earth? 200,380. Wait, about a quarter million miles. Is that far? I know it sounds like it's really far. But, I mean, you can even prove that people were on there if you have a large enough telescope and a large enough laser. We've never traveled that far in any rocket, ship, etc. Well, I mean, to the moon. Yeah. 2389. Yeah. Here's the thing. They left stuff there, guys. They left stuff on the moon. And so if you have a large enough telescope What they actually put on the moon is it's called a retroreflector. It's basically three mirrors, 90 degrees from each other. And the reason why they put it there is so you can actually measure the distance. Because it turns out like any light, any laser you shine at a retroreflector gets reflected right back in the same direction. And so if you know the speed of light and you shine a laser at that retroreflector on the moon and you're accurate enough and it's powerful enough to make that distance and it comes back and you measure the time it takes to come back to actually detect that laser back, knowing the speed of light, you can calculate how far the moon is. And that's where that measurement comes from. So the fact that we know how far the moon is, it's kind of a sign that we've been there. So, yeah, pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. How to measure how far the moon is. I wonder if there's another way. Yeah, that's how they measured it. Is your head hurting too? That's how they measured it. With the laser. They used a laser. They shot a laser on the thing. No, LOL, it's lies. We recorded that in 1960s to compete against the Russians. I guess, yeah, it could just be landed there, I guess. I guess that's one thing. I guess if you say we just sent a retroreflector there, that's one thing. We recorded in Soviet Union. We've never been there. It's all propaganda. It's like, no, I can't hang like I thought. No. I don't know if this is, I don't think so. It's cool. Wait. Oh, you can actually watch the asteroid live. Its live position. Oh, it's in 3D. Yo, that's so cool. That's so cool. You guys should check this out. Ooh. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know. Space can be kind of intimidating, can't it? Huh? I was about to go. Then the conversation went astronomy and piqued my interest. Okay. The distance can vary slightly due to the moon's elliptical orbit. Yeah. Turns out all orbits, none of these orbits are perfect circles. And the funny thing is, like, I don't know, I think I was watching something, or maybe I read it in, I think read it in this book, but like, no, I think I watched it on some like clip or whatever, but people thought, here's the problem with like believing in the faith, how it can actually like counter or prevent scientific discovery. Thinking God is perfect, that he would design a perfect universe, that people believed possibly that orbits also had to be perfect circles. And so things weren't ending up where they expected them to based on circular equations. And so they're like, so they made all these like correctional terms or whatever, and they couldn't use these equations, these equations specifically for things that they saw in the sky without all these correction factors. And then I guess it took somebody who realized like, hey, maybe it's not circles. What if they're ovals? And then eventually settled on ellipses, and then it worked out perfectly. So if y'all start talking about Attack on Titan, then I'm sat. What do you want to know about Attack on Titan? It's the only anime I've ever watched outside of Dragon Ball Z. But like time, there's no such thing as 24 hours in a day. Time doesn't exist. I mean, 24 hours a day is just a reflection of the rotation of Earth relative to the sun. So yeah, it is made up technically, but it's made up because it's useful for us on this planet. Don't give me hope. Hope about what? No, it's like the only anime I've ever watched outside of Dragon Ball Z. There's just another one I watched, but I only watched it because my siblings were into it. I don't know. You have opinions on it, Attack on Titan? I called my motorcycle Levi. like jokingly, but whatever. I never got as far as putting a scout badge on my motorcycle, but whatever. But I agree. Yeah, there's no such thing as a 24 hours in a day. It's just it's a arbitrary thing for our existence on this planet relative to the sun. So I think we kind of agree on that. Did you see 302? I don't know what you mean by 302. Castlevania is good too. Wow, you're a real nerd. I don't know. I think I've heard that. Here's the thing. I used to live with my brother. And yeah, I would see him and this other friend of ours who lived there. They'd be watching anime. Like, I think that's one of the ones they would watch too. The only one I got into was Attack on Titan. Or that's the only one I decided to like watch with them because they wanted to rewatch it too. And so I was like, all right, it's like, let's turn it into a watch party, I guess. And then we did a whole thing. Is the earth round? Yeah. It's certainly not flat. Maybe it's cubic. Here's the thing. The flat earthers, I don't know. Why don't they say it's a cube? No. It could be a cube too. I mean, does round refer to it being flat? Because it can be a disc, right? And a disc is round, according to some people. So you tell me that. Gavin, Mr. Trust. Oh, dang. Let me catch up with... I don't know if you guys have been leaving any comments on... Dang, where's the StreamYard? Oh. Still one person watching. That's crazy. Okay. Good night, guys. I don't want to have a nightmare thinking I'm falling off the earth. Oh, yeah. Good night, man. Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm going to call it quits too. I'm approaching 3 hours live streaming. About an hour and 51 minutes on here. If you guys have any last minute questions, feel free, put it in the chat. Any comments, any thoughts about anything we've talked about? I'm still going for Nike for post-grad though. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Nike. What would you want to do there? Because they do have an apparel, but you're not are you interested in shoes too? Wait, what do you mean going for Nike for post-grad? After? Oh yeah, after you graduate. Okay. See you soon, bro. All the best in your Christian journey. Same to you, brother. Good chat, guys. Good night. For real this time. Yeah, good night. Alexis, enjoy your mac and cheese. But yeah, Nike. Okay. They do have some cool departments. I'll probably end up somewhere in engineering. Yeah. Do you still work on a DoorDash type job? No. It's been years since I've done it. It's just, I'm pretty sure they've changed a lot of the rules since then. Lateral move to design. Yeah. Maybe it can't hurt to like actually like learn. Do you sew? Do you make clothes? If not, it might be worth learning just as a side. Or maybe if you can take a elective class in fabrics or like, dang, my sister, she graduated from the School of Art and university in California, and they had like courses specifically for like clothing and apparel. Oh no, there's a school of design in London. Dang, I forget what it's called, but I don't know. It might be worth just making stuff in the meantime, because like I guess you could make a lateral move, but one of the things like with engineering, they kind of pigeonhole you into stuff. Like you start doing that one thing and then they're like, you kind of get trapped into it. So it's always nice to have like that explore outside of work kind of thing. It's nice when you're already on the inside because you have an inside track. I wonder if I would imagine a company as big as Nike would have like a sort of like development program that lets you go into other parts of the business. So that could be cool too. Your what? KGX? You built like a cute stud. Okay. Can I join? Nope. They have. Wait, what's that? Yeah, they have changed. Yeah, I know how to work as a Singer machine, but I take some classes. Yeah. Joanne's. I'm thinking about taking a class too, because like I've mentioned these wallets I sell, but I think it'd be interesting to like actually learn the craft of dealing with fabrics and some of the cool things or interesting things can do with that from people who do it traditionally before I decide to like make upgrades using fusing fabrics together using heat. uh yeah, I'm trying not to get pigeonholed. Yeah, that is a trap a lot of people fall into, including myself. I fell into that. I had to like switch careers to get out of it. So definitely like yeah. Or even like maybe even working for like I don't know. I mean, you're into this fashion stuff, so I mean, what do you normally wear on a day to day basis? I think it'd be pretty cool to go into an interview wearing your own clothes. I think that'd be pretty cool. Your own designs and whatever, or like you go into work. Cause like I've been experimenting with nickel titanium alloys nitinol, and I was like, I put it on my other account where I talk about like the wallets and the development and the R&D that's going into all that, and I explained like nitinol, the shape memory metal and stuff. And apparently, someone in the comments, they're like, "Yeah, this stuff is cool. I put it into some garment or something to like hold its shape." And apparently, it's even used in like underwire for bras sometimes. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Nitinol. So I know you're into software, but I don't know. You like that physical space stuff too, which is pretty rare among software people. So I think it's pretty cool. Depends on the day, but pretty much utilitarian. Okay. Yeah. It'd be awesome to see you up there with Yeezy one day. Or like you're a designer, a Virgil Abloh type. Just like, yeah. It's like smart tech. Smart tech would be actually really interesting. How do you feel about tech wear? Tech wear. I know like it's a term now for like clothing that has all these pockets and zippers and stuff, but I mean like actually incorporating technology into wearables, I guess is the say. Wearable technology. I wonder if not for the sake of just including stuff into clothes just for the sake of it, but like for a purpose. Like for instance, the wallets I've been selling, I put an NFC tag behind the logo so that it can serve as a digital business card as well, or point to like, ooh, all right, this might actually be, let me know what you think of this. So obviously these wallets I sell, I put an NFC tag behind the logo. And I was thinking like, all right, I also include some structural elements in there. Right now I'm using stainless steel, but I'm trying to figure out how to work with this nickel titanium alloy to include that as a sort of structural element because it's a shape memory metal and it'll go back to shape. And so I was thinking like, what if I market it towards people in tech? So it's an NFC tag. You can program it to whatever. And then I think it'd be cool if like you can even change the logo. So instead of like doing it behind the Table Moments logo, I can give the option. So this is where you can customize it. You know how like Nike had Nike ID? What if you had like wallet ID? You can make it how you like it. You can choose the color of the fabric. You can choose the metal hardware. I have some metal accents on the wallets. Let me know if you actually want to see it. And then also the logo. What if you can change that? So not only the Table Moves logo, but maybe if you're a software developer and you want to point to your code base or whatever, or personal projects or a resume online or website or whatever, you can change the logo to like the GitHub logo or a Git logo or like a GitLab logo or something like that. And so you can tap it and people can see your code. And you just tap it to people's phones. And so it's a digital business card, but it's also like technology, whatever, or your website or projects you've worked on or apps or whatever. And the logo reflects what you're sharing. I think I think that'd be pretty cool. And then the whole idea is customizing it. So it's yours. It's your one of one. You chose the fabric, you chose the hardware. So let me show you what this looks like. So I have this. This is my daily right now. I got this. These are the metal corners. You can actually, I have different colors. So this is brass version of that. Here's what all the different colors look like. So I got the silver on here. If you want silver with it, if you want brass, if you want gold, I have the red and gold here. And then I have the NFC tag behind this logo. But I think it would be cool if, like, on the other side, I put the NFC tag there and then change the logo, give you the option to change it to whatever you want. This is the green and gold. I call this Reindeer Games, the colorway, for obvious reasons. But I think it'd be pretty cool. I'm working on the site. I haven't made all the changes to the website yet, and I still have to take a bunch of pictures of this stuff. And then I also have, like, the corners are reinforced with a stainless steel right now, but I think it'd be really cool to include nickel titanium alloy, nitinol, instead, so the corners don't flap over. So I saw these on the website. I haven't sold these versions yet, so I still got to take a bunch of pictures. But yeah, and starting with wallets, and so that's sort of what I'm doing right now. And yeah, it's pretty cool. That's my daily. So what do you think, man? Yeah. The iterations keep getting better. Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing. As they get better, I feel like the old ones were never good enough. So I feel like, dang, I wish I don't know. It's just weird how it works. And then I'm working on some software stuff to offer some tracking as well. Because right now, tracking, like USPS ground shipping, I think I mentioned it before, but like it's like $4 to ship something with tracking information. But if you use intelligent mail barcode system, which is similar to how Netflix sent their DVDs, it's free tracking. If you're able to, you have to basically hit this endpoint that USPS offers. First, you have to register as a business mailer, and then they assign you like an ID, and then you have to get approved for their API. And then once you do, then you get access to an endpoint where you can actually put in, like, for every package you create this, you generate this barcode, which it's a long write up. Thankfully, someone put together a package that automatically generated the code, because otherwise, like, it's a whole algorithmic thing. You might actually enjoy reading, but I did not. I tried understanding. I was like, I just want the code to work, so I just use this library. So it generates the code, and then I use Postman right now to track the packages when people ask me, like, where's this package, and I can give them. And it's cool because, like, it gives you all the data, because it's like these envelopes with the barcode actually go through machine sorting, and because these are thin wallets, like you can imagine, these thin wallets, they're very thin. So they fit in envelopes, right? And so I can ship them with just a single stamp. And because of that, it only cost me 68 cents to ship these, which is the cost of a stamp. And then when people ask me, like, oh, where's my package? I can just look up the barcode that was generated for their wallet and just put it into Postman. And it's just like, well, it just got scanned at the home at my post office. It's like in this state with the anticipated delivery date of this and everything. Like, USPS automated the hell out of everything, probably because of Netflix and through Netflix investment into all this stuff, because that's how they were able to track all this information. Same way, same barcode system and everything. And so that's what I've been using. So yeah, Postman is clutch for sure. And so now the idea is, instead of people asking me or emailing me about these customer service requests, basically, I just generate a link. So it automatically creates those requests and then sends them the information, and then posts it, and then probably generates a page that will show them that information in a pretty way. And that's basically it. So that's what I'm working on right now. But yeah, Netflix definitely in GameFly. There was actually an issue with GameFly because, like, Netflix had better postage rates than GameFly, so they could outcompete them. Because Netflix had a really deep relationship with USPS since they use so much of their system. And originally, like, these red envelopes that Netflix was sending was having issues in their system, in the sorting system. I also had that issue too, because the packaging I was using was like folded cardstock, which doesn't feel that stiff, but because it's folded, it made it stiffer. And so if it can't go through the machines easily, it gets shot out for human review because it can't go through the machines, and that dramatically increases the length of the delivery time, which I had issues with when I first started selling these wallets. And so I had to like simplify the packaging and get rid of the folded cardstock and just use a single sheet of cardstock, new packaging, printing layout and stuff. And now it'll arrive within 5 business days. So eventually, if it was local, and here's the cool thing, like if I can, right now I have a demand problem, generating enough demand. And so this is where like, I haven't made a social media post on this stuff, but maybe I'm gonna have to do that at least in the near term. And ad rates aren't really quite working for this, and I might have to increase the price, which is why I'm like, all right, maybe I can sell this to the tech people who have more money to spend, and I can pitch it as something specific for their field, like wearable technology kind of thing, match it, make your own wallet type of thing. But the idea is like if I have enough demand, I can build enough locations or at least micro factories like I have in my apartment, which is how I make these right now, and then be able to offer like 2-day shipping, which would be pretty cool. That's like Amazon speed. And I'm like, yo, that'd be so cool. And it only costs 68 cents, the cost of a stamp. I think that'd be so cool. And so I would have to have micro factories. And that's essentially what Netflix did. They built these distribution centers that would receive. Oh yeah, that was one of the major insights that Netflix had, was that they could use their customers as their warehouse. So they never had to store DVDs, which is originally how they did it. All the DVDs had to come to the Netflix office in Santa Cruz, I think it was. And then they had to repackage them and then send them out. So there was this like receiving them, repackaging them, then sending them out and all that. And then storing them until it got picked up. And so this is where volume can actually help you, where if you have enough demand, you could literally just have these like relay points. And so that's what they ended up doing, building all these distribution spaces instead of warehouse. Yeah. So no warehouse space. Literally, it was just like something that was like a small office where a bunch of people would just receive the DVDs in that area, check the discs, make sure they're good, and then repackage them for the next customer and send them right out. And so the turnaround time was crazy fast. So they didn't have to have inventory. They didn't have to have a warehouse. And it was all powered by internal software that was made specifically so it can handle all the labeling, the printing, the packaging, and figuring out who gets the next DVD for these queues. Is brilliant. Brilliant. And that was an insight that took, I think there were 2 years plus, I think more than 2 years in before they even got to that point, realizing that they could do that. That's what scaled the whole thing up. Like that, also offering a flat fee, subscription fee. And then, what was the other thing? There was one other element. Yeah, but basically what Netflix did, it took a while for them to get there, but eventually they did. And then, yeah, it's cool. So, and here's the interesting thing, Kirk. No need for warehouse space. Yeah. The interesting thing is, I think I'm creating a fashion accessory. Cause like people have ordered multiple of these, dog. It's crazy. I'm like, no one needs multiple wallets, but people do. So if the price point is low enough, it can be a new accessory, a fashion accessory that men can have, similar to like a tie or a watch band. More like a tie. Ties. People switch up ties all the time. Why can't you switch up your wallet? It does have RFID blocking and everything too, so I think that's a cool selling point for the. Not that it even matters. I have all these scripts prepared where I was going to talk about how RFID blocking isn't really necessary because cards are already secure and stuff, but whatever. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm figuring all this stuff out, and just, I guess it makes sense with the added customization. Yeah, I think it'd be really cool, like eventually to get like a direct to film printer, DTF printer, and be able to actually like partner with artists or creatives on Instagram who have artwork, and then be like, hey, would you like to put your artwork on wallets that people might purchase and you get a piece of the proceeds, the revenue. And so it's like a partnership solving this creator economy problem through merch and collaborations. And so I sell these wallets, and then people, if you like their design, I can put the design on here. And because this is direct to film, it's made to order. For instance, like even the manufacturing process for these, like I don't have inventory. I have raw materials. I don't have inventory. The orders come in and then I make it. And I think I like this idea of like just-in-time manufacturing, pioneered by Toyota. But like, what if everything's made to order? Because that's the offer that's what I can offer. Like, so you can make it yours, and I think you can charge more for that. Not necessarily because I want to charge more, but because it's good from the inventory side where I don't have to have too much. I can literally have just rolls of fabric. And it'd be cool to like, and I'm even thinking like future, if I can figure out the polyurethane material that stuff uses, and be able to put it on any fabric, then I could just go to like Michael's or Joann's, and for a social media effort, just like find really cool, vibrant fabrics, put a polyurethane coating on it to make it like these ripstop wallets, and then use the whole process to make custom, unique designs. Maybe I give away some of them, and then turn it into like an artist series or a creative series, or for the weirdos out here who like showing a little color in their lives. Because like you might not be the type of person who wants to express yourself through your clothing, but maybe you can express yourself through your accessories. And so that's the idea behind that. So, and then also solving this whole creator economy problem, and like collaborating with artists and creatives on Instagram or YouTubers or whatever, or I don't know. I'm literally just figuring this stuff in real time. There's a lot of room for personality. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And this is how I compete with like overseas goods, because like they can only make one-off things, and if it is custom, it costs way more. But for me, if I build this manufacturing process right, I'll be able to make custom orders quickly, which is the thing that sets this wallet apart. And so I think that'd be pretty cool. So that's what I've been working on. So I didn't intend to go into the whole fashion industry, but like maybe this is my way into it. I don't recommend, I mean, the wallet industry kind of sucks because men don't typically buy their own wallets. But the interesting with this one is it's been men. I target my ads towards men. So I don't know. It's been interesting. But yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, the app I'm putting together. I think I could offer it to other people who sell small goods in envelopes. So that's also what I'm working on too. So it's just when I'm motivated to work on the code stuff. I don't like coding, dog. I don't. It's just it's not something I could touch. So it really annoys when like even yesterday I was walking through like how to set up a Express server. I don't know. Is that the way to describe it? I don't know. I just was setting up my own API service, basically, at least testing it. And I was following a tutorial just to get the scaffolding done. And then I was just going to automate this so that I could use it for my thing, at least in the near term. And then obviously I get an error, like type error for something. I'm like, what the hell? Like I'm following the tutorial word. And then I realized like, oh, okay. Because I'm reassigning this array, and I listed it as constant. That's why it was giving me this like type error or whatever. And so I just changed it to a let and kept it pushing. A way to make there's a way to make customizations at scale. Yeah, dude, if I can figure that out, dude, I think it would be awesome to make custom clothing for everybody. So like beyond these wallets, right now I use lasers to cut out the patterns for these wallets. But I'm thinking like, what if you could scale it up to clothing? So yeah, not only for these wallets, but I think it would be cool for like clothing, like custom made to measure t-shirts, pants, like all the daily wear stuff, but it's made for you. So yeah, you spend $80 on a t-shirt, but that t-shirt is yours and sized perfectly. Think about the waste reduction in terms of not making all this inventory that has to be thrown away, but then also the customization so it fits you better. And so maybe you order more because they all fit you. Like, that hoodie that fits you better than all the other ones. You wear that all the time, kind of thing. What if all your clothes were like that? You know, I'm thinking, and then, yeah, whatever. I enjoy it when it runs. Yeah. It's almost never a complex problem. Yeah. It's always something small, but I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know. So I'm even thinking about the structure of this. I'm like, all right, I think I was going to build my own API service, but then I'm thinking like, do I even need to? Because I generate that. So when an order comes in through Shopify, it generates a barcode using a library I found, the USPS barcode. And then the idea is if I put together a website or some service that I could easily put the website in there, and then the parameter, the URL parameter would just be the barcode essentially that's sent. So when you click that, it automatically sends that parameter and ingest that to then send and receive. So it's just an Axios stuff. I don't think I need to build an API server. I don't know. Whatever. I'm still figuring it out. My whole thing is if I don't need to build it, I ain't building it. Yeah. I don't know. It's like the design part is the thing I'm stuck on. I'm just like, do I need this or not? I thought I did, but I'm realizing no, maybe I just need to build like a Next.js app that when you click this link, the barcode parameter in the URL is used to send these API requests. So just Axios, I think, is all I need. And then I would need to use some sort of like, because it's weird. You sort of have to be assigned a bearer token, and it's only valid for 15 minutes. So I think I have to like cycle through it, and just send it every 15 minutes. The other way to do it is just get a new token every time a request comes in. But I don't like the idea of like running something especially something like a bearer token. I don't know. And then once I get that, then I can send the request for that specific order, for that specific barcode, and then receive that, and then generate the page that the user who clicked that. I wonder if timing shouldn't be a problem. It's like first you open up a page and then you have to populate it with the JSON information. I think that's it. So I don't even need this, whatever. If I can make something fit my goals, that's fine. Yeah, that's fair. So I'm just thinking about like the structure of this, what it would look like. And I'm realizing like, maybe I don't need to be this complex with this stuff. I don't see any reason why that it can't be that simple. Seems like a simple app to me, at least for the user. So I don't have to like, so I don't get customer requests anymore because I have to answer these emails. And at scale, this could be really annoying. Right now, it's just like, all right, I get an email 1 out of every 10 orders. I get an email asking me like where my order is. But like, if I'm doing 100 orders a day, that's like 10 emails a day I got to answer. And so I'm thinking about even the customer support part of all this. And I think this would be cool because I'm offering tracking information, which a lot of and I'm offering it for free, which a lot of consumers expect with their packages. So it's like, and the cool thing is if I can offer this same service to other people who have Shopify, I'm building specifically for Shopify right now, but I think it'd also be cool outside of Shopify, but specifically if they sell small goods through envelopes, they can use this instead of USPS ground shipping, which would be a minimum of $4 through Shopify. Instead, they use this, they get to keep an additional $3 on every order, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you sell something for like $12, an extra $3 is a 25% increase in revenue. So it's just like it pays for itself, like literally in the first like 5 orders. And I wasn't going to charge that much, maybe like $20 a month for it. And so it's like, seems like a pretty easy, if there are enough people out there who have the same problem selling small goods through Shopify, because the margins are really tiny at that price point. Because there's a lot of fixed costs that come with something. So even like these wallets, I within the last month I raised the price to $25 because like at 19, after customer acquisition costs, after platform costs, payment processing costs, all that, like Facebook is making more money off these wallets than I am, and I'm just like, this doesn't seem right. And so I think it'd be an easy way to offer some immediate value to people who are selling stuff, small goods, through envelopes, or if they can figure out a way to sell small goods and be profitable. Because not necessarily, here's the thing, they don't need to necessarily, their main business doesn't necessarily have to be these small goods. It could just be a way to acquire a customer. So you spend all this money to get a customer, you got to purchase off of them, then you could retarget them for a larger purchase later on. But if you consider these small goods as a cost of marketing, then you can dramatically reduce your cost of marketing while still including shipping if you use an app like this, essentially. So there's a number of benefits to doing something like this. So that's what I'm thinking. At least for me in the meantime, I know I need it. So this is why I can justify building it. But outside of that, like, it's all speculation. Yeah, man. Software development, dude. I don't know. I don't even like libraries. I don't like frameworks. I don't like frameworks, but I know I have to use them. Like, I think I appreciate lower level languages better. I think I do. Like this whole, like, I don't know. Don't even talk to me about Kubernetes. Don't talk to me about Docker. Like, there's so much to learn, man. How do you feel about all this stuff, dude? So I don't know. Just there's so much to learn. Do you feel overwhelmed sometimes with like all the stuff in computers, anything related to computers? Because there's always new stuff coming out, and it's just like, what do I learn? What do I learn? There's always a new and better way of doing something that people have been doing since forever, and for whatever reason, this needs to be the way. And then now they introduce AI into all this stuff, so now you got to understand linear algebra like a boss, and it's just like, what? I'd rather do that than have to build it myself, speaking from experience. Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. But it's just like, I don't know. My position is like, less is more. Less is more. So it's like, yeah, if I can have less, whatever's, if reducing part count, as Elon says, like if you can reduce part count, that's the best. Because like you start using a framework, now you have all these packages, you got to make sure they're all updated, or if they break or they're not supported anymore, or if there's any vulnerabilities, you got to go back in there, or maybe if they're incompatible, you have to make changes to your code, but you don't know which part. I'm just like, is this the future? I don't know, dude. I'm all for convenience. At the same time, it's like, at what cost in terms of like scale? I don't know. I don't know about scalability and all that, but I don't know. I've just been thinking about this a lot. I think I might just have to learn like C or something. Just get back to basics. I think it's similar to logistics. Yeah. Which means then you're not even, I don't know. I feel like software development is mostly like understanding how proprietary stuff works, not actually understanding the underlying stuff. Well, I mean, you're in school, so you're getting to know like the basics. But I wonder if I have this theory that a lot of software developers actually don't know how computers really work, like really work. Like maybe if you went to school for it, but like actual working software engineers, could they explain how memory is allocated inside of a computer? Like, could they explain I don't know. It's just, this stuff isn't, and it's not even easy to find this stuff too. I don't know. But it's just like this is the thing I don't like about software. It's just like, especially when I use a framework, it just feels like magic. I'm like, okay, so how did it work? I don't know. I'm not going to go into these modules, these node modules, and like figure it out. I've had to. When I was working on this like YouTube downloader, video downloader thing, like there was some issue for whatever reason. This library that I was using had some issue with, I don't know. I just had to like, and it was an Electron app too, so there was a lot of finicky stuff with that too. I was just like, I'm not learning software. I'm learning how this one thing works. I don't know, dude. Most software engineers have never taken OS class. That's a perfect example. A lot of software engineers have no idea how an operating system works or how to build one if they needed to. My favorite class, probably the most important in understanding computers. Yeah. Can you show me all your $2 bills? Yeah, I can. Happy? Tragos? Happy? $2 bills. $2. They're real. They're real. You know it's real because it says... you probably can't see it, but it says Wells Fargo there. Yes, but don't you have the uncut ones? Yeah, I have those too. You want to see those? You don't believe me that it's real? Or you just want to see it? I can show you. Let me just put this one away. Yeah, I got you, bro. I don't know why. You saw it on my video. You think I'm faking? Oh, okay. You do believe me. Yeah. Smells like money. Smells like money. Smells like money. Yep. It looks hella fake. It does look cool. It does look cool. I mean, it's like how browsers are designed to just use as much RAM as the schedule allows them. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. I literally last night I watched a video on how the JavaScript runtime environment works, where the event loop and how that manages all the like, I don't know, it's helping. I do really want to understand how these browsers work because I have a lot of my ideas hinge on browser technology, like even like progressive web apps. I've been obsessed with that idea for like the last year or so. Just like, what if no more app stores? Everything's just the website, but it feels like an app. And I think Apple recently announced some at WWDC, or the last one, announced some additional support for progressive web apps, which they've always been lagging on Apple products, but I think it's pretty cool. Because I'm from Europe, and I found a $2 bill in Germany a couple years ago. Okay. Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah. Man. So, yeah. I just gotta like dedicate time because like I don't know. Like I think it is Primageddon. I think his name is. He talks about like you just got to sit down and code. It always sucks in the beginning, and it's just like I don't feel motivated to write or build any. Oh man, especially learning is so painful, dog. Dude, Kirk, I don't know. Whenever you're like, I wish Shopify was easier to understand. Like, here's the thing. I've noticed like for the build process, if you can reduce the cycle time between trying something and seeing if it worked to as small as possible, it makes it a lot easier and much more enjoyable to learn. But if you have to like make a change, then compile, then check if it actually was successful, if the thing does what it does, then it takes so much longer to learn. Or like with Shopify, there's so much information there. It's a flood of information, and it's just like, all right, are you building a public app or are you building a custom app? And if you're building a custom app, are you building an extension I'm like, bruh, I just what? Whatever. Oh, it's like, is this an admin action I'm like, all right, so I'm learning all this like stuff unique to Shopify. Oh, and then it's all based on the React framework. So now I got to learn React, or not React, Remix framework. I'm like, all right, so how's this different from React? And apparently there are some differences. And now I got to learn that. I'm just like, bruh, like, yo. Yeah, trial and error is not fun. Yeah, this is not fun, bro. It's not. I'm just like, all right, can I avoid using this stuff, please? And here's the sucky thing about it is I know theoretically it shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter what you use. Like, it's all just ones and zeros at the end of the day, right? That's the thing that kind of lightweight pisses me off about this stuff. I'm just like, everyone has their own way of doing things. They put wrappers on wrappers on wrappers. Like all these layers of software on top of each other, and it's all just ones and zeros at the bottom. Are you an alpha? What does that mean? Grace Askins. What are you doing here? You have in your bio. What do you mean? Am I an alpha? Like, I don't know what that means. Like alpha radiation? Is that what you mean? Or are you talking about like alpha male? It's an alpha male. Explain. So, yeah. Nobody decided on a universal user level abstraction. Yeah. I don't know, dude. That's why I'm like, you know what? That's why, I don't know, vanilla JavaScript really appeals to me, because I'm like, I know this. And I know all these frameworks have this as a basis. So it's like, what if I just learned the basics? So you find a lot of people know React really well, and they might not know any JavaScript. Well, of course you have to know JavaScript. I feel like you do. If you want to do any complicated things with JavaScript, you would. I feel like maybe it's just going to come down to learning C and JavaScript, knowing JavaScript well enough. I just don't like the framework stuff. That's just me. None of this is intuitive for me. That's what I'm noticing. Like, I like things that I can touch. I like things that I can like hold in my hand, physics, figure out how to manipulate this metal into this shape. Like, that's what I care about. It's like designing, understanding, logistics even is cool too, but the software stuff, man. I guess I just got to sit down and do it. And I used to do this stuff. I don't know. The passion really isn't there. But, all right. Yes, I think he is. If you had to describe me, I think more people would describe me as a Sigma. And I think everyone likes to call themselves Sigmas, but Sigma doesn't care about this hierarchy at all, so they don't even answer the question, which is what I did. That's the way I like to think of it. So, Sigma. Yeah. Or, you know what I like to consider myself? I'm a Ayman. Because that's me. No one's like me. That's what I like to think of it as. I agree, but you can really do some powerful things. Yeah, you can. As long as it's information based. Here's the interesting thing. Like, I'm realizing there's a lot of misconceptions that I think people in software have. So like, if you live in the world of software, you can do amazing things, and it does appear you can do amazing things, but it's all information based. And so it's like, oh, well, information can guide decisions. Wisdom guides decisions, which is, it's not about the amount of information, which is, I think, the false trap that a lot of these, or the trap a lot of these AI people are falling into. They're thinking more information is better. More information, all these parameters, trillions, quadrillions, petrillions, whatever. It's just like, all right, bro, you think that's going to get you the right answer? People thought that with big data too. I don't know if that's been true. Like, so I think it's a trap. And yeah, you can do amazing things with information, but the things that we rely on every day to live are not information based. They are physics based things in the world. And I think this is where like smart minds have realized it's a lot easier to make money in the world of bits than it is to make money in the world of atoms. The margins will never be as good in the world of atoms, but that's the things we rely on as people. And so I'm just like, I think the AI thing is a trap. It's thinking that it's the future when in reality it's like people got to start building things in the real world, maybe using complementing things in the real world with computers. It's like the combination of the two is what brings magic. It's not just one exclusively. But if one, I don't know, I'm stocking setup tour. I mean, there's not much to the setup. Like, literally, back there, I have my basically workshop. Oh, this might be cool. What does this look like? This is not a robot. Let me. You might be interested in, if you like networking, Kirko, you might be interested in a device like this. You can mess around with it, get some like, this is a Wi-Fix LTE router. An LTE router, meaning it takes a SIM card. Right here. It takes a SIM card. Cool. And the cool thing is it uses OpenWRT. It's a C-based operating system for this device. And you can program it to do stuff. And you can even include, there are like libraries for this stuff too that you can install and incorporate in this stuff, like ad blocking, which is something I've done with this. Network-wide ad blocking. It's an easy install. So if you're interested as a hobby, you can have something like this. Do you have a family? I have, not a personal family, if that's what you mean. Like kids or a wife? No. I do have a fiance, though. Internet. I don't know what you're saying. That's fire. Yeah. If you really want to know about mistakes, you should ask your parents. Yeah. You want to have a roast battle, please? What? Yeah, that's probably way more reliable than my Pi. Maybe. I mean, like, yeah, you don't have to use the LTE stuff. I mean, it is basically a router. This antenna here is the 4G LTE route antennas, and this is obviously the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi antennas. It's like 80. I remember, I think I bought this for like $80. It uses, I don't know if you guys remember these old laptops that had like cellular connections on them. They would use these cards that you can plug into the side. Essentially, those little things are modems. And they put those into these. And if I disassemble this, you could see it. If you guys want me to disassemble it, I could. But like, I originally tried to solve this whole like rural internet problem. If you see one of my videos I posted, I think last week, I talk about net neutrality and the false impression people have of it. I was trying to solve this last mile problem that happens in rural areas with a device like this, using 4G LTE connections through the SIM card and these antennas to solve that last mile problem, so they don't have to lay cable down. I didn't get approval from any of the cellular providers, which is why we didn't go forward with the idea. But I think it would have been really cool. So I don't know if this would be way more reliable than your Pi. But it was pretty easy for me to figure out, and I didn't know as much about software back when I was doing this than I do now, and I was able to figure out a lot of things. You can compile your own version of the OS if you'd like. The source code's available. It's a common thing a lot of networking people do. Just like program these things for themselves. This is great for RV or traveling or something. You just plug these in. I even plugged this into my car, and I had Wi-Fi in my car, essentially, if there was anyone else with the SIM card or whatever. It's pretty cool. Seriously, you're on fire with these ideas. Is there an app I can download to make you disappear? Oh, that's funny. But yeah, I know you're playing. But yeah, I think it would have been really cool. I also have another cool thing that you might like, Kirko, as well. I haven't gotten around to actually like building it out, but it might be a better option for you if instead of your Raspberry Pi, I have this. It is a Nano Pi. A Nano Pi. I don't know if you've seen these things. It's definitely more pricey, but it's more rugged than a Raspberry Pi and has more memory, and I don't know what chip it uses. But it's a thing. What's it called? How do I open this box? Oh, here we go. You might actually like this better than a Raspberry Pi. It's this. It's a Nano Pi. It's the R4SE Nano Pi. Now it's rugged. It's cool. Heatsink is the case itself. 2 USB ports, an SD card slot here so you can actually load the OS and load the OS. Actually, let me unplug this right now because I think you guys just lost sound. But you can load the OS. Now, I got this specifically because I thought this would be really cool to use as a man-in-the-middle ad blocker. And the reason why this is really cool is because it has 2 Ethernet ports. I think that's pretty cool. So because I'm thinking about from like the usability, if you want to do some sort of like man in the middle filtering, like a proxy, a forward proxy or something. I think if you're going to offer it to users, it has to be as simple as just plugging it in. And so the idea would be like you plug in the Ethernet from your wall into this, and then this into your Wi-Fi router or whatever, and it has USB power. Super simple and basic for the setup, and literally it just filters web traffic. There's something you have to do with like certificates and stuff, which I haven't quite figured out yet. And I haven't been working on this project because I'm working on this wallet and other stuff. But the idea being like, I think it would have been really cool. And I like that it has 2 Ethernet ports. So, yo, that's kind of nice. Yeah, check it out. It's Nano Pi. Just Google Nano Pi. There might be a better version that they have these in different sizes and different configurations, and they all come with like soft. Check it out. I think it'd be really cool for you. So yeah. But it's midnight. I gotta wake up at 6:30. Peace though. Yeah. Good night, man. I think I'm gonna end too, guys. I'm gonna end. Appreciate everyone. Once there was a big horse who didn't like water. He drank chocolate milk instead. Okay. Nano Pies, guys. Let's see. I have too many ideas, man. I have way too many ideas, and I can't work on them all. Hopefully, I can make one of these self-sustaining, and then I could just like create my own research park, or maybe a research park for the internet. So we just come up with ideas and we just build them in real time. I think it'd be really cool. But future thing, whatever. Otherwise, does anyone have any last minute comments? I've been on here for 3 hours and 43 minutes, which is 43 minutes longer than I expected. But I appreciate everyone coming on. Let me make sure I get this stuff working, at least charging in the meantime. And to everyone, let me sign off with you guys real quick. User 384268, Kimberly A. Ball, Tyler Star, I guess I'm going to call you an A. Shout out to everyone who's been watching. Appreciate it. Well, yeah, this is Table Moments. Still figuring it out. Don't know exactly what it's going to be. Maybe follow the YouTube account. I think maybe if I go live there more often, I think it'd be easier for me. And for you, probably better camera and everything. And I can keep up with your comments better. But otherwise, everyone have a good night. Enjoy the coming week. Enjoy the beginning of summer, I guess. And just stay safe. And God bless you. Bye. 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 let's end that. And then let's end it for you guys. Whoever's still watching on Twitch, thanks, man. Appreciate the watching. You also have a good night too. Bye. Bye.